Hello everyone and welcome to a special event here on RaceRoom and Racing Experience. We're at the 2 Hours of Road America at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin for a classic event here, a 3-category race, a fantastic venue for us to host around. It's apparently about 6.5 kilometers around, a very tricky circuit in certain locations, but definitely a good one for multi-class racing. Lewis McGlade alongside Robert Wiesenmüller for today's action. And Rob, talk to us about these cars. How tricky are these to get around here?
Yes, hello everyone, hello Lewis. Just trying to sort everything out here for the stream. So we have 3 classes fighting against each other. Group C, newly released of course, now available. You can see it here in the picture, the Porsche, in the hands of Balin Benedek, the fastest guy in pre-qualifying. Then also we've got the Porsche Cup, classic Porsche Carrera Cup from the 90s, as well as the GTO class, which is very tricky in itself, even though it's a bit longer in the game already. And these cars are certainly a handful to drive.
Yeah, I think both of us have had a go in the Group C car. I did give it a go around the circuit, an extremely tricky vehicle to get around the circuit. All 10 of the Group C cars, I believe, are taking the Porsche here. We haven't got any of the Nissans, but again, fantastic content. Extremely tricky to drive. We look at Balin Benedek, who was fastest in the pre-qualifying session to get into this race. He ended up doing a 151.5, I believe it was, or 151.4. Panabianco did a 151.5. The pair of them being very close. We see him come through the carousel now, waiting to get on power. It's so easy to light it up a little bit too early, because then you just understeer and go straight on, and as soon as you touch the grass, then you oversteer in the form of a spin. Heads through the kink and onto the back straight towards Canada corner. Obviously going purple in all the sections because it's the first lap, but Balin Benedek just wrestling this car around at the moment. Super tricky on the rear end with the turbo. Like you see him there at Canada corner, all over the place. Wrestles it through the second to last corner, balances it over the top, straight to the final. Hooks it up beautifully onto the white line and lovely on the power. A little bit of oversteer, but straight up to the line. Good lap so far for Balin Benedek.
We are looking for lap times in the 51s, and you can see Francesco Panibianco.
Jeez, what a start.
51.4, but same lap time, almost same lap time from Balin Benedek.
Wow, what a start there for Panabianco. Sticking in a 51.441 straight away. Incredible speed to start us off with. The fastest pre-qualifying time was a 51.419. So they're pretty close to that already, and bearing in mind it's the first lap of the qualifying session, as we look back to Gail Gortner, who obviously has helped a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff towards the previous event we had in RaceRoom at the 3Motion Challenge. Doing a very good, trying to get himself lined up for a lap as it is. Andreas Bart to the final corner. This is the Nissan and the GTO car. Look at that car all over the place.
Lots of turbo lag on this car. Very difficult to drive, and you will see huge lap time differences, of course. There in the red color on the tower on the left side. Second place behind Valentin Barriere. He's in a Ford Mustang. Lots of variety in this car. Ford Mustang, then the classic Nissan, and also some Audis. That's not all that we have here. We also have these Porsches here. A little bit of damage already on the car of George Dervada. But he sets provisional pole in the Porsche Cup category.
Instantly beat by Jaeger though.
Oh, you can see the lap traffic here now coming into effect. Caserta abandons this lap.
Yeah, getting the... I distinctly remember from qualifying in multi-class racing years ago. It is an absolute nightmare because you'll be on an absolute stonker of a lap. But then suddenly there's a Porsche 36 seconds off the pace, naturally being in the slower category. Catch them at the wrong time, James Andrew there. Just catching one of the Porsches just a bit awkwardly coming out of Canada corner. And that's why those first few laps are so critical, because those are the ones where you're least likely to have the traffic. So Panabianco getting that 51.4 in straight away. Excellent job as James Andrew goes to 4th position. That's a good time. 1.1 seconds off. Nicholas Hillebrand currently in 3rd position, also doing a good job. Speaking to him before the race, he was saying that he was pretty confident at the moment. It's Hillebrand, so doing quite a good job there, sticking it in 3rd. We look at him. You can see on the driver graphic indicated there, the S. Now these have two compounds of tyre, the soft and the hard. The S indicates the soft, the H obviously will indicate the hard. Doubt anyone will be using the hard right now qualifying. We're pushing these cars to the limit, 8 minutes to go in the session.
Yes,
just working our way through traffic.
There's no park fairness here, so everyone can run with the soft tires. But the interesting thing will be, of course, the tire strategy in the race and also the pit stop strategy, because we've got a 2-hour race coming up. And that's impossible on one fuel load and on one set of tires. We don't really know how often they will pit. I heard in the GTO category they are speculating maybe 2 stops, maybe even 3 stops. I was expecting probably 1 stops in the Porsches. In the GTO we just don't have, in the Group C, we don't really have any references from previous events we can go by, because this is pretty much the first event on these cars.
Yeah, that's the joy of having brand new content, is that you really don't know what is going to happen. You don't know what the strategy are. Of course, you know, we take it, oh, look at this aggression. 3 cars, all of different categories here, running into kind of the corner. Porsche well off the road there. But that's the joy of new content, because you just don't know what people are going to pick, what people are going to do, how people are going to set themselves up for the race. You could have someone just cruising around in 3rd position, ends up on the right strategy, takes the win. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, big task for all these drivers to figure out the strategy here, and then also at the same time, you know, have a race, keep these cars on the track, lap everyone else. It's not so easy in these. And Benedek on the purple sector there.
Yeah, purple through the first sector, heads towards where the carousel is. Oh, a little bit over on the tarmac there. It's again very easy to spin off. Oh, there we go.
I think that's just a bit of lag there that caught him out.
I'm
not sure.
There we go. He's back. We're all right. Going through the carousel. Sorry about that to the audience. But through the carousel he does go. Trying to hook up the curb a little bit later. Brilliant. I think he might be a little bit slower. He was a little bit wider through the carousel. Too wide there going into the kink though, but carried tremendous speed through the corner. Heads towards the end of the second sector. Has lost a bit of time there. I think most of that was done at the carousel. Just couldn't hook up the second part of it. Into Canada corner he goes. I don't think this will be an improvement for Benedek. Currently sitting on a 51.474 in the Group C category.
I think when you see some of the cars with a little bit of front damage, this could be that the server registers a damage when there's this lag, but they might not actually have damage, you know, on their real car. So it might be a little bit misleading. Sorry for these issues here. We're trying to sort them out at the same time as commentating. Benedek stays in 2nd place. So let's have a look maybe here at one of the Audis, because we haven't seen them at all yet.
Yeah, fantastic. The GTO category. Fantastic looking cars. These I mean, to be fair, a lot of these cars I think look absolutely brilliant. The things like the GTOs, the Group Cs, the Group 5 cars, that's really up my alley. These cars look amazing. Like proper race cars. Brought to life again in RaceRoom Racing Experience. We see Repakov heading through Canada corner and up the hill in the Audi. This one's a 4-wheel drive, very important to note that. Potentially a little bit better on tyres, but we'll have to see how that one works out. And should be a lot quicker through the corners, although you might see them sliding a bit more being a 4-wheel drive car. You know, they end up trying to get the back out a bit because you've got a bit more control in the car. Runs up towards the start-finish line, currently 14th overall, P5 in category, goes to 12th. So a good lap there, up to 3rd in class.
Performance from him, but this man here is on a mission. Francesco Panebianco, he was at the RaceRoom esports event. The Tuning World Bull, and they should be able to get past him on the straight here. Not quite.
Not quite. That'll have cost his lap. Oof. Panebianco, yeah, he did. He was in the endurance race. Well, he was in all 3 of the races in the 3 Motor Challenge event that we had in the Boden Z, and of course the endurance and the ADAC GT Masters. The endurance event, though, unfortunately, they had to retire from that race due to a technical issue, but it didn't stop him going quick over the weekend, though, did it? Showed tremendous pace to Panebianco over that weekend, and showed tremendous pace now, carrying it through.
He was in all of the races. He was in the 3 Motion Challenge, in the GT Masters final, and in the endurance team race. Did a good job there, and now on the pace with these completely different cars as well. And Courtois, he was at this event as well. he's currently in the lead in the Porsche Cup category, driving now for Scaro Esports by STL.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers that we had taking part in that event, obviously continuing to race in RaceRoom in various events across the category. We see a lot of traffic here trying to line up. We see Guy coming up towards the line. That's not going to be a good time for him, I don't think, with all the traffic and the fact that he's not set a decent sector time up to this point. Currently 4th in class. Who's that? Was that Dittler jumping up into 9th, I think it was overall. So almost all of the cars have set a lap time now. We're still missing a couple in the GTO and then a few in the Carrera Classic. Of course, very long lap for some of these cars. You're talking 2 minutes and above for the categories outside of the Group C cars. It's an incredibly long lap, so a huge commitment to actually get round to set a time as well. You're talking nearly 5 minutes. We're in a 15-minute session here, so not much time to actually get round and get those times in. So you've really got to plan your qualifying session well and just hope that you don't get stuck in traffic at the moment.
And here we've got Stefan Kosubek. He was 2nd in the last special event at Bathurst in the GT3 category, 2nd overall, ahead of Michael Rechel. Very impressive. But he has not set a lap time and he won't be able to do it because he's just exiting the pits right now.
Not enough time there for Kosubek. A long race though, you say, 2 hours in the race, and a lot of this is going to be about car management, about time management, fuel maybe, but most importantly, traffic management.
Yes.
We look at Cassell saying a very, very good first sector. That car's gone off the road as well, so this might be absolutely brilliant there for Cassell, who's now going to have clear air. Runs towards the carousel. Hopefully he needs to nail this one if he wants to set a decent time. Currently in the 6th position in class. There's enough time to finish this lap, and that is all she will write. Again, a little bit wide in the exit of the carousel. Gets into the kink. Absolute commitment. You need full bravery through that corner. Still up, although dropping back off a little bit from the fastest time, but still a positive lap time. Could be 3rd if he hooks this up. I see Andrew has also got up into 3rd position ahead of Hillebrand. We'll keep our eyes focused on Caserta. Runs to the final corner. Very, very wobbly there under brakes. Leaves it, slides a little bit onto the curb and up towards the line. What is it going to be? Could be a decent improvement up towards the 2nd row potentially. 3rd position it is.
Nice job.
Brilliant lap time.
Strong performance by the Italians here. Strong representation anyway. Bianco and Paul Caserta 3rd, and then Mellini in 7th with Ortner in 9th at the moment. And I think Sören Jäger, he's still on a quick lap in the Porsche Cup category. Let's see if he can finish that. I'm not entirely sure where he is at the moment.
Just heading towards the carousel,
Yeah,
so he's got a
won't
long
be able
ways.
to
Not
finish it.
going to be able to, no.
So there we go. Bianco and Pole in the Group C, ahead of Benedek and Caserta. All the red cars at the front of the field. This will be a nightmare for us to commentate. Daria with the Ford on pole in the GTO. That's a surprise. Ahead of Andreas Barth and Repakov in the fastest of the Audi. So all 3 manufacturers in the top 3 there. And then Courtois ahead of Vega and Sören Jäger in the Porsche Cup category.
Yeah, these will all be starting at the same time on the grid as well, so it could be a little bit messy into turn 1. However, all of the categories should space themselves out nicely into that first corner. And this is where it's going to potentially get messy because I can't remember my corner numbers because it's all very, very confusing around here as to what is actually a corner and what isn't. We'll be getting ready for the start of the 2-hour classic here at Road America. Lewis McGlade alongside Robert Wiesenmüller. And the preparation for the race. The nerves might be quite high. Obviously, we're talking a special event here, more of a fun event for some of the drivers. No potential prizes on the line, no 3 motion simulator up for grabs today. So hopefully things will remain nice and tidy. We look towards the starters. Field ready to go. Benedek in 2nd position this time. So came into this the fastest man. Panabianco jumped him in the qualifying session. And who is going to come out on top here? The lights will be on ahead of them and ready to go racing for 2 hours here at Road America. And we are going to be underway, and it is a better start there for Benedict. Massive wheel spin for Panabianco, near crash on the start there. Benedict up into the lead of the race, and all of the red Porsches down towards turn 1. And I think it's, Benedict clear through turn 1. That's Panabianco in second position. Dina up into third position. A fantastic start from him. Nicholas Hillebrand up to fourth as well. As we run down the hill, I believe that's Buron in fifth position. As we run through turn 1, all fairly clean so far, Rob.
Let's take a look in the other categories there. It's one of the Nissans leading in the GTO. It's Bart who's taking the lead from Barrier. And then in the Porsches, Courtois still in the lead with Karel Vega right behind him, and then Kosubek in between there. We have to jump back to the front of the field. There you can see the power advantage of the Nissan in the different class, because it's very close here between all these Porsches in the GTO class.
We're looking at Hillebrand here, heading through that central section of the corner through 6 and 7. Oh, sorry, it's Dutler, sorry, my apologies. I think they're in the same car. There's Gail Gortner up into 8th position, defending a little bit. Oh, nearly contact there into turn 8, not quite. Gail Gortner holding on to 8th position, runs through the carousel. They're all quite close to the back. I believe that might have been Andrew, who's had a terrible start. Was in 4th position, I believe, on the start. Has dropped all the way back to 9th position. I did see them getting massive wheel spin on that second row, unable to put the monstrous power down of these Group C cars. We look back at the GTO, Andreas Bart having a little bit of daylight there between himself and the Ford driver of Barriere. Repakov as well in the Audi in 3rd position in class, just behind this as well. So a little bit of a quartet there for the lead. Senko just behind those as well. We look back to the Carrera Classic, Karel Vega.
He's taking the lead.
Oh yes, I was going to say, and he's not got a healthy one either over Yann Courtois, just behind. So not a particularly healthy lead at the moment. I also saw that Alexander Kruk has dropped back well off the back end of his category, obviously one of the GTO drivers. We've got this move for second position though, and that's Panabianco down to 3rd as Dina gets up into second position. A bit of a muscly move there. These two though are 4 seconds off of Balint Benedek.
Look at the lead, and I just think Panabianco must have picked up a slowdown penalty at some point, so that he has, or maybe a mistake. Easy to do a mistake in these cars, no doubt about that. He's dropped way behind the Hungarian Benedek, who's leading a race here once again at a special event.
Yeah, Balint Benedek, of course. The fun fact that you had ready for us was he is the man who was victorious, I believe it was, at the Bathurst 1.0. We see racing here as Repakov just looking down the inside, 2nd position. Not quite making anything work there on Barriere. Barriere, of course, our pole sitter, dropped back to 2nd position behind Bart, but Bart pulling away at the moment from this lot. We'll see how these all come back together as we look back towards Nicholas Hillebrand. Yep, he drops behind Dutler, who's had a fantastic start up to 4th position. Of course, the last time we saw him, he was in 6th, so making fantastic start.
Caserta!
Wow. Nearly pushed him off the road there with Caserta. Caserta up into 5th position. Nicholas Hillebrand down to 6th. Oh, a bit of a slide though out of Canada corner. That's going to open the inside for Nicholas Hillebrand. And Nicholas Hillebrand back through into 5th position. Fantastic recovery there from that overtake. Nicholas Hillebrand back up into 5th position. You can see Buron as well directly behind. Ignore the tower. Someone just jumped up and jumped back down again. Ignore that.
I think it was Gritsenko who's left the server.
Shame for them. Nicholas Hillebrand surely going to be under attack here into the first corner. Look at the slipstream there for Caserta. Down the inside into turn 1. Is he going to make it stick? He's over the corner just slightly, not quite on the white line, but Caserta up in the 5th position. Oh, Hillebrand just cuts in behind. Buron behind is going to be looking at this and rolling his hands with joy, thinking what position he can gain out of this. Heads through the 2nd corner and onto the back straight. Nothing quite happening so far.
Only you can see the tires. Look at the tires from Benedek.
Soft compound.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So that could be the explanation why he's 6.7 seconds ahead of Attila Dina.
Well, I mean, if Dina and I don't know who else is on the hard compound tyre. Well, we'll have to flick through that and see what's going on. We look back to Dino, who's also on the soft, which explains his progress. I would wonder if Panabianco's on the hard.
Oh, he's on hard
he is
sure.
indeed.
Yeah.
Now, if the hards then are allowing you to do a one-stop, realistically, considering the pace disadvantage for the hard tyre over the softs from what we're seeing so far, I don't know how long the stops are going to be, Rob, but...
I think with the soft tyres, though, you're looking towards something like a 3-stop.
A 2 or 3-stop, exactly.
Certainly not a 2-stop. I don't think it's possible with a 2-stop.
The pace difference, though, is absolutely monstrous at the moment. Balint Benedict's fastest lap, just to give you a bit of reference, a 52.4. Now, I know that these guys probably wouldn't have put in the cleanest of laps. We're entering the end of lap 3. So they've only realistically had one proper fast time. As we look back towards the Carrera Classic race, 25th and 24th position. Unkoff trying to get down the inside. I believe that's the cow. And not quite making that stick. Unkoff staying in 25th. But considering that tyre difference, it was a 52.4 for Balint Benedict. Panabianco a 56.0. Massive gap on time.
And the battles continue here. Lucas Buron now trying to go around the outside of Hillebrand. And I think,
contact between the two. Not quite making anything. Well, Hillebrand not quite being able to hold on to that position, rather, as Buron gets up into 6th position. Nicholas Hillebrand instantly trying to attack again down into the 2nd corner. No room there. Lucas Buron up into 6th position. Nicholas Hillebrand down to 7th. Came with just a lot of confidence, did Hillebrand. Not quite working out for him just yet. However, coming down in towards the 3rd corner or the 5th corner, whatever it says on the track map. And Hillebrand, yep, he was looking down the inside for a bit of a lunge. That is a big one indeed. I think Hillebrand is going to get himself back up into 6th position. Fantastic bravery on the brakes. A little bit of contact there as they leave the corner. And Nicholas Hillebrand up into 6th position with a little bit of argy-bargy.
Close battle here, and I was thinking that Hillebrand is maybe on a higher downforce setting than Buron. He's very wild there, trying to stay ahead of James Andrew.
Hillebrand also on the hard compound tyre. As we head
and
through
Dina
the
has.
very
I think
wide.
Dina has caught Benedict.
Wow. Oh, he has. That must have been a mistake for Benedict. That was too big a gap for that to not be a mistake. As they start heading through some of the traffic. That's one of the Carrera Classics they've just passed. So they're entering the traffic point. We look at Barriette. This is in P3. So dropped back now behind Repakov. But under massive pressure is Repakov from Barriere and from Guy as well behind. Heads towards the carousel. Nothing quite sticking just yet. 3 different cars here though. We've got the Audi ahead of the Ford, ahead of the Nissan. Beautiful cars these. Absolute classics. Proper race cars. The GTO category, one for fantastic for visuals. The Audi though is the 4-wheel drive. The other 2 are rear-wheel drive monsters. We ride on board with Repakov looking backward, and I think into Canada corner. Barriere might be under attack here heavily from Guy, but not quite working out. Oh, potentially a little bit of contact there through the corner from the Mustang.
Oh, and
not quite sticking yet.
While this was happening, Attila Dina has spun off. He's dropped all the way back to last in his class.
Ooh,
Not sure where to look here at the moment, because Panabianco and Duttler are side by side as well.
I'm assuming Duttler there on the soft compound tyre, trying to get past Panabianco. And we head it under the bridge and through the corner. Not quite anything going there for Duttler, although he's going to have a lot of speed there, going around the outside again. Soft compound tyre, I believe, on Duttler. Panabianco trying to defend every which way as they head through some traffic as well.
Yeah, these are the leaders.
Through the graphic. Yeah,
these are the leaders in the Cup class. Vega and Courtois.
Yeah, they've got to play it smart. You can't make any ridiculous risk. Panabianco there on the hard tyre though, considering the soft tyre, has got to make all of that advantage. Seeing Balint Benedict right now is going to give him a huge boost of confidence.
And Duttler also on the softs. That could explain his progress.
Absolutely. I'd love to see what happened to Dina though. That is such a shame to drop back. We see Gear and Barriere. A little bit of side by side heading towards turn 4, nothing quite sticking there, and Guy down in 14th position, staying behind Barriere, 4th in class. Barriere, of course, pole position. Oh, we look back at James Andrew there, And that's Lucas Buron, I believe, is it?
Yes.
Or, yes, it is. Yes, Lucas Buron. They're going side by side again towards the final corner. Is there going to be any contact? Not quite. Brilliant stuff. Andrew ran the outside up into 6th position on the hard compound tyre. Fantastic work. Is he going to close down to Nicholas Hillebrand now? Maybe, maybe not. Run towards turn 1. Lucas Buron, though, going to go around the outside potentially as we head towards that first corner of the circuit. Lucas Buron on the outside. James Andrew on the inside. All the way round. Do as you like. Fantastic work. Lucas Buron still under attack into the second corner. Still going to try and go around the outside. This should be an excellent run out. And he has made it stick. Fantastic move. Outside 2 corners. Gets up past Andrew and up into 6th again.
Lots of respect between these 2 drivers. Lucas Buron, the very experienced Czech driver who has been in the Mercedes competition and the GT Masters competition for a couple of seasons now. And then James Andrew, who's a complete debutant in this race, showing great pace and good recovery drive so far in the race.
Yeah, showing some tremendous pace there is James Andrew. Was that I think a bit of attack there. But anyway, we look back towards 6th position in class for the Carrera Classic as Unkoff once again getting into a little bit of fisticuffs here. I'm not quite sure who was racing at the moment.
I think George De Veda.
Yeah, De Veda, yeah. Just trying to race. These cars look like a lot of fun to race, if I'm honest. Do not underestimate how difficult all of these cars are to drive, by the way. Heads down into turn 4. Unkov just trying to close it off at the moment. Holds on to 6th position, but just goes a little bit wide. I said it's not an easy car to drive. And De Veda there up into 6th in class.
George De Veda, one of the most experienced drivers on RaceRoom. He was here already back in the old days of DTM Winter Cup and so on. Good to see him here in one of these races. Oh, and there's Andreas Barth, the leader from the GTO category, already lapping them.
Again, all classes have to be very, very aware because the speed the other cars come around with is absolutely insane. These are not particularly slow cars, but the speed of the other ones, you are talking heavy hitters in the 90s, these cars. So absolutely fantastic speed. The radar, though, just pulling away, I believe, there from Unkoff. And 6th position looks more secure to be here as we see the Audi coming through the background. We look back towards James Andrew, who is still all over the back of Buron, just trying to make it through. I think going around the outside, though, for Lucas Buron is going to work this time. No, it is not. James Andrew there, fully alongside. We ride on board with Gail Warner, looking at the 2 going side by side towards the 4th corner of the circuit. Down the hill they'll go into this really, really tricky braking zone. The rear end will be all over the place, and I believe Buron will just about hold on. But James Andrew, fantastic aggression at the moment. Who was that who spun off ahead? I think that's Panabianco in 5th position now. I saw some smoke coming into that corner. I said it was a tricky braking zone. 5th position now for Panabianco, was showing some tremendous speed to close up to the back of Benedek after his mistake. Unfortunately, all of that has gone out of the window now, and he's now 14 seconds off the lead in 5th place behind Nicholas Hillebrand.
It just goes to show how hard these cars are to drive. We've never really seen a mistake from Panabianco in any of the live stream races before, in GT3 cars and DTM cars and whatever he races. And now we come to the Group C cars, and these are just a whole different type of beast. Even experienced drivers like Panabianco, like Benedek, who's leading the race, are struggling here. And Caserta is true on Duttler.
Yeah, he is indeed. Caserta there, also on the hard tyre. Duttler, we remember, is on the soft compound. Benedek as well on the soft compound tyre. So Caserta, best of the hards at the moment, doing a pretty decent job. As I say, for these races, you just need to stop making mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, you're going to fly up that order, but mistakes are so easy to make. You're talking about some very, very experienced drivers here. The likes of Benedek, the likes of Hillebrand, the likes of Panabianco, Ortner, people like this. These are all people who have a huge experience in sim racing, multiple years, multiple series, multiple different cars, championships. For some of these, as we look back towards the Carrera Classic, this is Carol Vega under attack from Yann Courtois. But to actually race these cars is tremendously difficult as we head towards the kink, looking back towards the lead for the Carrera Classic class.
It's also 2 very experienced drivers here, Carol Vega and Yann Courtois, were teammates for a long time. Now Courtois actually has joined the Oscaro team, Vega still driving for GTR3 Esports. And I think in the lead for the very first time in an official race here, Carol Vega, Nice to see that. Under lots of pressure. And now lap traffic for these GTO cars. There could be Alexander Krug. I think it's rather Christian Juhasz, followed by Ricky Richard, driver with the most American name on the grid.
So American, and he's in the Ford. That makes me so happy.
Oh, it's actually not Ricky Richard. It was Repakov and Barriere, who have exactly the same liveries, just a little bit further ahead.
Yeah. It's always good to give Ricky Richard a bit of airtime with that. Obviously, home soil here, the only American on the grid. But yeah, Vega and Courtois seem absolutely stuck together on time. They've like been glued for the last 15 minutes. It doesn't look like they're going to be separated at any point. But look back towards Dürtler, who's in third position in the lead category. On the soft compound of tyre, you can see Hillebrand there under attack a little bit from Panabianco, but these two are all coming back in. And
Dürtler's coming
into
in
the pit lane after 15 minutes of racing. Wow,
maybe
up into the pit lane.
Maybe he will go on hard tyres now.
Potentially.
That's a bit of a surprise.
We'll be able to find out how long those pits are. We look at Panabianco attacking into turn 1. Nicholas Hillebrand having absolutely none of it. And holds on through the first corner. Through what is apparently turn 2 and then turn 3. It's all very confusing here. Panabianco, much better run out of that corner though as they get to a little bit of lap traffic. Nicholas Hillebrand a little bit held up by that. And on the run towards turn 4 and turn 5, I think Panabianco might be eyeing it up for a late dive bomb. He's going to have to do it around the outside though. Oh, he's not quite committed to that, but it is a bit late for Hillebrand. No, hooks it up beautifully. Hillebrand is absolutely fantastic on the brakes of that corner, but Panabianco just about getting alongside. Under the bridge they go, side by side through the corner. A lot of respect to him, but Panabianco just up into third position. And Hillebrand, whoa, big slide. Oh, that's a bit black, right. I think it was a bit of a slide over Hillebrand, who's now under heavy attack from Biron, who might be picking this moment through traffic and through an overtake to get by the German driver. Not quite making it stick at the moment. Nicholas Hillebrand just about holding on to fourth, but a massive fight here between Biron and Andrew behind as well, as they're trying to get by the lap traffic going around the outside of the carousel. We've got all three classes here on screen as well as they go through the kick. Oh, this is going to hold Nicholas Hillebrand up a lot as they head through the kick, the fast right-hander. Oh, me, up towards Canada corner, and Hillebrand just about holding on all of the traffic right in front of these two right now. And look at this, Georg Ortner as well, close right up to the back of this. So this quartet, all fighting for fourth position, massively close as we head through the traffic.
This poor Audi here stuck in this massive battle. James Andrew once again with a good exit. Pretty close to... Ooh!
Another one. That was scary.
Simeon Nakul, the driver from Moldova.
I think Hillebrand's got a bit more downforce on his Porsche right now. Through turn 1. We're not able to get by. Again, more traffic. It's where you've got to be so smart. You can make overtakes through traffic, absolutely you can, but all about doing it so smart. That comes from the Group C category, for the GTO category, and for the Porsche Cup category. Using your head coming through it is absolutely important. We look at current P6. That's you, Hush.
I think they were just lapped by Benedict there, and that's two cars battling. Lap traffic that is also fighting for position. Juhasz and Christoph Müller in the red Ford.
Trying to go around the outside potentially of the carousel. I don't think that one was going to work. But yeah, so you've got to keep your eyes on your mirrors, because you need to know where to affect, not let anyone through, because that's not how it is really with multiclass racing. It's always the guy in the faster car that basically they don't have the right of way. They're the one that dictates the move, and so they have to do it safely. And as the slower or medium class car, you have to basically just keep doing what you're doing and be predictable. But that still means that you can still use it to your effect. Wow, look at the drive out of Canada corner there for Müller. Wow, that was excellent drive. Is he going to get the same one out of the final corner? We've got more cars. I think that might be Caserta or Panabianco. Is it Caserta? Yeah, Caserta coming up behind them. We look at Juhasz up the hill. Not really as good drive out of the final corner as I would have thought there for Müller.
Yeah, the Ford doesn't have so much top speed actually.
No.
And Nissan clearly the fastest car on the straight in this class.
It's just the run that Ford got out of Canada Corner was absolutely sublime. You can listen to that excellent sound of the Audi. Fantastic noises on these classic cars. 20 minutes down in the race. Only man to have made a pit stop so far is Dutler. We look at the head of the classic. Yann Courtois has got by into the lead of the Carrera Classic category. Carol Vega now in second position.
Attila Dina in the pits. You just see his car there. Yeah. Second of the drivers on softs going to pit. And of course Benedek is also on the softs. We should not forget that.
What did Dutler come out on? That's a question.
Well, he was last in class. Now he's ahead of Dina again.
Yeah.
Ron and Andrew are fighting once again.
All of these that have been stuck together all afternoon so far. James Andrew putting in an excellent drive so far as a debutant. Not made any big mistakes so far 20 minutes into this race, but as the tyres wear, that is going to become much harder. It's going to be a lot more thought processing to come through the traffic to keep the car on the road. You can see Gail Gordner as well.
Oh, wide line there.
Oh, Hillebrand, yeah, of course, and they're going to have to split this traffic here. Oh, James Andrew up in the fourth position, fantastic stuff, and through the traffic as well. Nicholas Hillebrand probably just had to lift out that one a bit as we see one of the Audis go straight on at Canada Corner. James Andrew.
Oh yeah, that's Juhasz and Müller there.
Yeah, it is indeed. We were just looking at this battle. Müller, again, not quite as good drive this time. They were split apart there heading into Canada Corner. So Gail Gordner going to get up and past them.
And Benedek is in the pits.
On the soft compound tyre. What is he going to come out on though? That'll be the important
see
bit.
What Dutler has now. Dutler has hard tyres, I think.
Dutler does have the hard tyre. He's gone from the soft to the hard. I'm assuming Dina's done the same thing. As Benedek drops back in the category, we look at Dina onto the hard tyre as well. 10th in class, 11th on the road, as Bart ahead has a absolutely massive lead, apparently.
Yeah, he's just... Does he really have a 1 minute lead over Repakov?
Surely not. I think that might be a bit of a timing. Surely. 20 minutes into the race and having a minute lead. We'll investigate that one. I wonder if it's because Dina's in between them.
Yeah, because also maybe of lap traffic. I don't know, but it looks a bit suspicious. And Dutler has passed Benedek. Benedek is still in the pits.
Yeah.
Maybe Dutler didn't refuel.
Maybe not. He's a long time in the pit lane. I wonder what's going on with this car. Benedek currently in the pit lane. Winner at Bathurst. What is going on with that car? Had
Perhaps
a tremendous start.
Doesn't look like the engine is running at the moment. Could be race over already.
Not sure. That is an odd one. We look at Caserta, who's currently in the lead of the race. The hard compound tyre on board his car, trying to get through some of the traffic. That was a bold move, shall we say, for the second to last corner, trying to get by the traffic.
And that's the battle for second place in the GTOs. Repakov and Barriere.
Yeah, Barriere, of course, pole sitter in that Mustang. Look at the straight line speed though. Once that Audi starts going, it really did just pull away a little bit there. We can see one of the Porsches in the background. I believe that's Parabianco trying to get by these two as well. Going to get held up a little bit in towards turn one. We ride on board with Repakov as we look towards Barriere out of the first corner. Parabianco clear to pass at the moment. Oh, Repakov just coming a little bit over the road. Trying to line himself up for the second real corner. Wow, look at how close Barriere is. Out of the corner, onto the straight. Is that Mustang just going to be able to pull itself alongside? I don't think it is. There we go. There's the Audi just pulling away. It just has that second wind. About 130 miles an hour, I think it is. It just really pulls away a little bit. Down towards the fifth corner. There we go, pulling away again. Not quite able to make anything happen there is Barriere. James Andrew just closing in. Oh, is that Andrew? No, it's not. Who is that?
Maybe it's Benedek because he's going again.
Oh, it could be. It could be. No, it could be James Andrew. Benedict, though, absolutely miles down is James Andrew, who's pulled away from Hillebrand and Buron then.
Maybe he refueled like 200 liters or so.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to the end. Who knows?
He started with an empty tank. Oh, yeah. There's the Porsche in the way.
Oh, wow.
That was a dangerous moment.
All three. Repikov, though, just holding on as we ride on board with Barriere. Oh, there goes one of the Porsches through. Just about slots that gap. That was Hillebrand just trying to get through. We look at Buron as well, trying to get past as well, running down towards Canada Corner. Is he going to get both of them? No, he's not. Barriere overtaken by Buron. Buron going to try and get by. A massive slide out of Canada Corner, though. Gail Gortner closing up the back of Buron. Second to last corner, Gail Gortner coming through. Barriere. And he's going to get a decent drive out of the corner as well. So this is really starting to separate that 3rd to 6th battle that was so close earlier in the race. 4 seconds between the two of them. We look at Jan Courtois, who's managed to pull a hefty gap on Carol Vega here, potentially through a little bit of traffic. Jaeger, the other one on the podium at the moment in the Carrera Classic category. We see 2.5 seconds roughly the gap between the two of these leaders in the Carrera Classic class. On the absolute limit as we head onto the bridge there. It was dual, wow, big slides as well, fantastic stuff. This is like a lot of fun to drive, I'm not gonna lie.
A bit of understeer here though. Tires are getting worn. I think Barriere has gone past Repikov.
Ooh, so he has. They're going to be side by side under the bridge. Barriere up into second in class. Gets around one of the Porsches as well for good measure. Oh, who was that off in the background? I think that was Guy off in the background as well. Oh, well, rather than in the foreground, wasn't it?
Getting past Martinez here.
Ooh, a little bit of contact there. Not quite. Barriere just going to try and pull away from Repikov, but we saw how quick that Audi was in the second stint on the straight, so watch out into Canada Corner. Once they've headed through the kink, that Audi could be an absolute bullet in a straight line. Very close. Only a couple of tenths between the two of them as they head through the kink. Absolute commitment there from Barriere. A little bit too much, unfortunately. Still keeps his footing, still keeps the speed of the car, and I think he's going to hold it into Canada Corner, but maybe into turn one. That move is not going to hold off. Also, I think now it's 14 seconds between Barriere and Bart, so I think that's more stabilised now that we've got the grouping back correctly.
Well, that's the car. Maybe Benedict. I think it's Benedict or
yeah, it's Benedict. That's actually the position. Realistically, Benedict back up into 11th. Effectively, of course, not actually a part of this class. Realistically, we ride on board with Repikov. Not quite getting close enough towards turn one, though.
Yeah, I think because Benedict passed him in the final corner.
Yeah.
Kind of compromised his exit there. So now Repikov still with a good opportunity here on this next straight. But he goes over the grass on the inside.
Yeah, not the best drive. I mean, maybe trying to use that four-wheel drive rally heritage of the Quattro. Of course, not the best thing to do when you're on racing slicks. We look back to Ukov.
And I think the car behind him there, Simeon Naku, got quite a big damage at the front. Let's hope that this is only lag and not actual damage. Judging by the understeer here, it could be... Wiesenmüller off the road.
Yeah, he'll get by straight away again. Obviously losing a lot of time. And yes, it could be. Oh, let's come to the Porsche as well. Oh, who is that? I think that might be Hillebrand. No, not close enough. Who is that?
Could be Hillebrand or Duttler. They're in the same livery.
Must be Duttler. Because Hillebrand's too close to Buron for that to be Hillebrand. But yes, it could be understeer, considering it is also the Porsche as well, which is an understeering car until the points when it's not, at which point it's an oversteering car. That's all I remember about driving a Porsche, is it's doing one of the two things at any point through a corner. It can switch like that as well.
But looking at the pace from Naku here, I don't think he actually has this damage. No. I think it's just a visual bug there after the lag spike we had earlier, because he looks pretty much same pace as Markus Runkov ahead of him. All 27 cars still running. We only lost one car. That was Gritsenko.
Yeah, it's always a shame to lose a car, but unfortunately, sometimes that is the way with racing.
Does have a lot of lunacy here.
But I wonder if that's just the car. Because as I say, he doesn't look slow at the moment.
He's losing in the high speed corner, so he could actually have. Oh, that's another Ford. That's Ricky Richard.
Fantastic name. I've just got to say it. That is a fantastic name, Ricky Richard. That fills me with joy, I'm not going to lie. Unfortunately, currently 8th in class at the moment, 18th overall. But doing a solid work, I think it is. We look back towards Barry. Yeah, these two absolutely glued together, and I believe that realistically, Repikov will be back through. And yeah, just say the strictness with that Audi. Once it gets going, through at turn 2, and then realistically clear by the time they get down to the 90 right here. And so Barriere, once again, staring right at the back of that Audi, which I'm sure he is not bored of looking at now.
Good to see that.
Big slide for the team.
Half an hour in, we still have these types of battles here, just like in the sprint race.
Massive, massive slides though through the corners. These guys are wearing out their tires. Massive. Look at this man Barriere though. Oh,
bit of a push.
A little bit of contact there. Not quite making any real gains there, but wow. Such commitment and aggression there from Barriere. Really trying to let Repikov know that he is there and wants to get by the Russian.
Look how big this shift light is in the cockpit. Looks like they stole it straight from a construction site.
Absolutely massive. You definitely know when to shift there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but he's ignoring it, you know, he's just revving anyway.
I'm sure that won't come to harm him at the end of the race.
Well, we run with damage on, and therefore it's even more remarkable that we still have 27 cars going here, especially with these cars and with this amount of lap traffic.
Final corner, I think Barriere's going to be looking down the inside. I think he's going to get by the Audi driver now, but that's surely not going to stick on the straight with the Audi's poke in the straight line. Barriere up into 2nd in class at the moment, but massively down the road. By the way, Repikov, he's going to be coming closer in that slipstream with the poke of the Audi as well into turn 1. I believe Repikov will be looking down the inside, not quite going to commit to it though. Barriere a little bit wide of the first corner, misses the first apex, runs down towards the second corner, still going to be side by side. Repikov on the inside at the moment, and Barriere, oh, they're going to be side by side again. The outside has prevailed most of the time this afternoon, but I think Repikov, oh, they're so close. Nothing quite working. Absolute millimetres between these cars. Trying to find every which way to go. Only the grass on that side, buddy. Repikov now coming back over. A bit of snaking across the circuit. Repikov trying to make it stick around the outside. Oh, but Repikov has gone wide of the corner. I think a locking of the rear brakes there from the Audi driver. And they are dropping right back into the hands of Guy as well.
That was a close call that he just caught it there. Under braking, just shows he's on an aggressive setup as well. Of course, these cars do not have ABS.
Let's see, Carol Vega and Courtois as well have also closed themselves back up on this grid as well, on the timing at least. I can't quite click on them now, which is excellent. There we go. They're going to be running down towards the 4th corner, absolutely close. Courtois in the lead, Vega in 2nd position in class.
Look at Zürnjäger.
Between them again.
Look at the gap, Zürnjäger. He's caught up quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. These two must be battling absolutely hard. They've been glued together all afternoon. 35 minutes of constant racing between the two of these. I think it's been for over a second once for about 2 minutes. And then it closed right back up again as we see a bit of traffic trying to get through. I think that might be Ricky Richard trying to get through the pair of these at the moment. I'm going to go around the outside of the carousel. Potentially going to break them up here a little bit, but maybe not quite. But fantastic racing between the two of these for the lead of the Carrera Classic category.
Yeah, I think the pace gap between the Carreras and the GTO is even bigger than the gap between GTO and Group C.
Yeah.
So he can just drive around the outside there. Both of them a little bit on the grass. And André G has caught Repikov.
Yeah, I was about to say, the gap very, very close here. Currently for third in class, Repikov now drops right off the back of Barriere, which will make Barriere very, very happy now that he's made that Mustang stick and get by the Audi, which I'm sure he is bored of looking at now. We ride up all the Guy in the Nissan. Now this thing should be pretty pokey in a straight line. Into the slipstream he goes. It should be straight very quickly. Look at this. Absolute monster in a straight line. Fantastic looking car as well. Heads down into the corner. And absolutely through those Andrew Guy up into third position in class. Not the best exit though. The four-wheel drive of the Audi. Going to get him back again potentially. I think so. They're going to be side by side as they head through the corner. Andrew Guy up into third. And I think he's going to stick. He should do indeed now. Wow. That Nissan is so fast in a straight line. Oh, but looking down the inside again. No, not quite. Surely not. Surely not. Oh, a bit of a slide there from the Nissan. Out of the corner, we see one of the Porsches come through. I believe that might be Duttler trying to get through the traffic. And that potentially now, as long as he can keep the gap, should be here up into third position comfortably. We can see in the background as well, Kosselbeck as well, not too far back after, obviously, an early spin dropping right the way. Oh no, he didn't qualify, did he? And he had to start all the way from the back.
Had to start at the back.
Fantastic work up to fifth in class. And closing in as well.
And you can see him. He was second place last time out at Bathurst behind Balint Benedek. Actually, André G also a winner in a special event. He won the GT4 category on Server 2 last time out in Bathurst.
We watch Kosselbeck, who I believe that must have been a mistake there from Repikov because he's dropped massively off the back of Guy as well and has a really slow drive. And I think this is going to be 2 laps, twice being overtaken by a Nissan into turn 1. Well, again, look at the power of Kosselbeck there.
Maybe a slowdown penalty.
Potentially, he's dropped back a lot.
Repikov.
Yeah, he has dropped back a lot. And of course, you can pick one up out of the second to last corner by running slightly too wide and over the concrete. I believe as well, you can pick one up by touching the gravel trap at Canada Corner as well. I just think I remember picking one up there for me. So back up to fourth there. I'm sure he'll be happy with that recovery drive, considering he has actually had to come from the back, not just the back of his category, but from the back. So including all the Porsche, which I know is not going to be a hard thing to overtake, but at the same time, first lap, when they're all very, very close, we look at Caserta, who's closing in, is Panabianco behind, I believe as well. James Andrew, not that far back from these either. So all the red Porsches closing up at the front end of the field, as Panabianco as well gets by the lap traffic. Pushing hard as Francesco Panabianco, pole position to his name this afternoon. Did not get a good start. Balint Benedek having a much better start initially. And yeah, Panabianco doing a good job to recover. Kosselbeck under heavy pressure again from Repikov, who's looking to respond to the earlier move. Your Nissan may be pokey, but the Audi is as well, I'll have you know.
We've got the first pit stop in the Porsche category.
From third in class.
Well, that looks like two-stop.
Yeah. At this point in the race, it must be a two-stop. Speaking of that Porsche category, though, look at this. Again, just so close. I'm sure if anything gets boring during this race, we can always head back to this battle, because it looks like it's not stopping. Whoa! That was commitment. That was bold. Yann Courtois just managed to hold on. I don't know how did he hang on to that? Did either of them? How did Yann Courtois hold on to the lead? How did Carl Vega not just go straight on?
He must have braked really hard there and just come to almost a full stop.
Almost, yeah, must be.
In the corner.
At least he knows his brakes are good.
On track. Other ones are Kosselbeck and Repikov, and then also Hillebrand and Buron.
Yeah, Hillebrand's been in a few of the fights today, particularly towards that midfield on that category. So wide, that could be so close, dangerously close to a slowdown penalty. Could drop into fifth position if he's not careful. Currently holding on to fourth as a German driver, Lucas Buron, just behind And James Andrew has absolutely cleared off in the distance. He's closing in on the lead group. Of course, James Andrew qualified in 3rd position, or 4th position, I think, in the end. Had a terrible start. Was pretty much last in class. Has come back to 3rd position through Benedict's pit stop. But Nicholas Hillebrand, under a fair amount of pressure as we head through the traffic. I believe that might be Ricky Richard again. Currently on broadcast in many different angles, not directly, but just as we're lapping everyone, or being lapped.
Courtois has been off.
Road. Oh, wow. I don't know what happened there. I think that's going to be into the pit lane, though, for Carol Vega. Yeah, both into the pit lane. Jan Courtois as well, so definitely a 2-stop for the Carrera Classic category. He's going to close up a little bit there in the braking zone. We look back at Rafael... Oh, yeah, is it Rafael Martinez?
Yes.
Yes.
And he's going to take provisional lead of the race. If he doesn't pit now...
Unless he stops, yes.
Unkov next one on the road. And then this battle here, Naku versus Jäger. Jäger, of course, has already pitted.
And we're not too sure if this damage on Naku's car is legit. It does look like a very understeery car, particularly in the high-speed sections of the circuit. But it's still a pacey beast, is this one. So I'm not too sure if that damage is quite representative of how the car is at the moment. 5th in class, the battle. Martinez goes up into the lead, so hasn't stopped. I believe that's Guy into the pit lane as well, though, or potentially was that a mistake? Wow, yeah, absolutely straight through the traffic there.
Guy is in the pit as well.
Lane, yeah.
Just going through the remaining runners here in the Porsche Cup category. Stacco, white and blue car. I think he's coming into the pits. And then Derveda.
Who is he going to be coming into the pit lane? No, he is not, so he is staying out.
Courtois has jumped Vega again in the
How?
pit stop. Maybe he refueled less, maybe he just changed one axis of tires. I don't think that. Maybe he just had to refuel a little bit less.
Potentially. Wow. Interesting strategy coming into effect here in the 2-hour Road America Classic on RaceRoom Racing Experience. Jan Courtois back into the lead of the Carrera Classic. We came into this saying that we don't really know what was going to happen on strategy. I think we have been surprised. Lucas Buron into the pit lane.
Yeah, I think now the hard tires prototypes are also going to start pitting. So 2-stop strategy for Buron here. Let's see what Caserta and Panebianco are going to do.
Yeah, Caserta coming under more and more pressure lap by lap. There's another mistake there for Caserta. Under heavy pressure by his compatriot Panebianco. Panebianco, as I said, we know how quick he is, and he has been showing more and more pace at each and every event that he's been doing in RaceRoom. Showed incredible speed through various points of the 3-Motion Challenge qualifiers, and also through the actual 3-Motion Challenge itself, the 4-hour endurance event, and of course the ADAC GT Masters has shown incredible speed there, and continuing to show that whilst plastering on the pressure for Caserta. Out of Canada corner, through a little bit of traffic. Whoa, absolutely slotted that gap.
You almost lost it there.
Moment. Yeah, huge moment for Panebianco. Absolutely on the limit of these two. Who is going to pit either of these? No, not quite. Both staying out, both on the hard compound tyre as well. James Andrew as well, closing up 6.5 seconds off the back of this. And he's holding pace quite well to Panebianco at the moment. That is the Englishman.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. As we mentioned before, Andrew not so experienced, but Caserta as well. He's very experienced in the Italian Community Championships there, but he's not really taking part in the official races usually. It's great to see him here fighting for the victory against his countrymen. Buron has come out of the pits behind Benedek.
So potentially long pit stops. Though it doesn't make sense. I'm assuming they just didn't put that much fuel into Dutler and Dina's car, because those two dropped back massively. Meanwhile, Benedek and Buron dropped back massively in comparison to Dutler and Dina. So I wonder if there is a fuel difference. Of course, we see Benedek, who started the race in the soft compound tyre, a mistake early on in the race, but didn't quite catch, drop back heavily into the likes of Panebianco. Has stopped for the hard tyres. Slotting through the middle there was one of the Porsches. We look at the battle for 3rd position, or 2nd position I think this is, between Jäger and Unkov. Jäger, who has pitted, I believe?
Yeah, he has pitted, and he has jumped Courtois and Vega.
Courtois and Vega, yes.
So he's in the virtual lead of this race here. Martinez ahead of him hasn't pitted, and he's passed Unkov now.
Potentially on a different strategy. So again, these cars in RaceRoom terms are fairly new. These two are still glued to each other, which is fantastic for us watching and on the broadcast. But these cars, as well as with Group C, fairly new realistically in the RaceRoom racing experience. We see Caserta and Panabianco trying to get through traffic as well. Very close between the two of them, trying to get through some of the GTA classics as well.
That's Kosovec and Repakov, of course.
Is anyone going to pit? Is anyone going to take this moment? No, they're still not. They're
Maybe
still
one stop.
Circuit. Maybe a one-stop. They are pushing for it in these massively turboed cars, which is going to be interesting for the rear wheels, which they're not going to hold up quite so well. But this could be an excellent strategy call.
Yes, when you look how long the pit stops take,
yeah,
it could be a fantastic call.
We're seeing Andrew Hillebrand and Ulner as well, rather doing the same things, I believe. The battle for the lead here overall at the 2-hour classic at Road America. Yeah, we don't know realistically what the strategy is going to be here. What strategy is the best? No one knows. That's why we're here racing to find out. Excellent first event here. Panabianco closing into the slipstream, runs down towards the 4th, 5th or 6th corner of the circuit. I'm still not sure. Oh, that's wide there for Caserta, and that's going to be Panabianco up into the lead, and we head under the bridge and through the left-hander, and Panabianco returns himself to the top spot of the race after a decent recovery drive, a mistake early on from himself when he'd closed back into Benedek. Has done a great job, great consistency, fantastic driving to get Francesco Panabianco back into the lead of the Group C.
Let's see if there's any response from Caserta. That traffic ahead of them should be...
Oh, there's the response! Oh, into the wall as well, and into the tyre barrier. A huge moment there for Marcelo Caserta. He's gone well wide. A huge moment on the rear end. Oh no, after such a good drive. Oh, it's all tears there. This car could potentially be very heavily damaged. That was an absolutely massive knock. Please remember, damage is on here. I'm just seeing that on my other screen where that moment happened. Just absolutely lost the rear end.
And he's picked up massive damage. Just see it here, just checking the damage. So there's no damage on the car of Naku, but it shows 100% damage on the car of Caserta after this impact. And you can see it's just going straight on here.
Yeah, that car is absolutely toasted, unfortunately. I think he might try and bring it back to the pit lane and see what the lads can do in the pit lane. Unfortunately, though, after such a good drive, the lap he loses the lead. Unfortunately, he potentially has lost a lot in this race, heads into the pit lane. Such a shame after such a good drive. That's promoted James Andrew, though, up into 2nd position. Nicholas Hillebrand into 3rd. Georg Ortner into 4th as Caserta's into the pit lane. We look at Nicholas Hillebrand. So this battle has
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, that's not...
Is that Benedek? Yes, it is Benedek. He's a lap down.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess two and a bit minutes down. I was going to say, that's not Georg Ortner's car, so... I was a bit confused there. So Benedek has lost so much time through that pit stop. Bearing in mind Buron as well is behind, so potentially lose an entire lap from the pit stop. That's crazy. We look at Vega, who's got past Kunkov, and Jan Courtois as well, the next car behind, that white and pink Porsche. Going to close to the back. I think this is the furthest they've been apart all day, Rob.
And I'm still confused how Sören Jäger managed to pull off such a big gap in the pit stop.
Maybe he just didn't take any fuel, or maybe what you were saying about not taking 01 axis of tyre potentially is
so
taking
risky
that
though.
option. So risky in such a high tyre wear race. Of course, we know from historic experience of sim racing and real motorsport, Road America is not the hardest track on tyres. We look backwards from Woodcock to Courtois. It's not the hardest track on tyres. However, in these cars, the amount of acceleration... Courtois down the inside, though. Whew, absolutely cutting across with a fantastic move there. Absolutely brave on the brakes. And up into 4th in category. Is that Kusebek? Yeah, it is. Big mistake there from Kusebek. Down to 5th in class. I don't know what happened there. Obviously, another mistake through the carousel. But yeah, it's just the power zones through here are so tricky. It's just so hard to make anything stick. And so it's so hard to control the tyres.
And you can see the dilemma that the drivers are in. Obviously, it's faster to do less pit stops here when we see the pit times from Benedek and
Whoa! Another big
Buron.
moment from Kosebek. You were saying, huh?
Yeah, it's obviously faster not to pit so often, because you see these pit stop times are massive. But then you're forced to drive on these old tires.
How to make a hard car even harder. Remove all of the grip. Not just a little bit, but all of it. So we see someone, I was certain, leaving the pit lane. You can just see in the background here of Kosebek. We'll see how broken this car is.
Quite amazed they got it back together
So
after
am
this
I.
impact.
So am I. We'll have to see what kind of lap times he's putting in. If we ride on board with him, we can see how much damage he may have.
Looks
Is
fine.
he going to be? Yeah, I was going to say it looks alright at the moment. Fair enough.
Oh, change of position here. Kosebek went past Juhas. Oh, but Juhas is coming back.
Yeah, I was going to say straight back through on the inside. Brakes working well on that Audi. I have heard the Audi is quite snappy. It's probably the best way of putting it. And we have seen that earlier in the race. We saw that with Repikov into that corner. He's a little bit snappy on the old brakes. Of course, the only four-wheel drive on the grid, realistically, but obviously the only four-wheel drive in the GTO Classic category. So a very different beast to tame. Is that Yann Courtois? Oh
Yes.
no! Oh, what has happened here for Yann Courtois? He's dropped behind Dunkov as well with a massive moment. Now that definitely is the furthest that he and Karel Vega have been all day. Oh no! It's a shame because that battle was so good as well.
And we've got another retirement. Laurent Stacco. He's out of the race here in the pit lane in his Porsche.
Shame for him. Hour and 9 minutes to go in this race.
I think Hillebrand is in the pits.
Yes, must be.
Yes, he is.
Yes, indeed. Promotes Ortner up to the podium positions. Is Nicholas Hillebrand going to try and go for a bit of an undercut here? Except that he's going to have to be on the tyres for an extra 5 to 10 minutes more than anyone else. However, potentially gain himself more track position, get him potentially in front of Andrew. Well, we'll have to see how much it is. We know that the tyres are going to wear quickly. We look at Mellini, who's definitely got some damage on that car. Again, potentially could be through a bit of lag rather than anything. We see one of the
showed up as
Porsches in the pit lane.
100% health, so definitely nothing that impacts his driving here.
Fifth position though, doing a great job as the Italian. Gets past Hillebrand as well, so now to fourth.
I'm just
See
looking
Hillebrand in
through.
the back of the pit lane. Okay.
I'm just looking through the grid here to see some people that we haven't really shown so often. Another one is this man here, Alexander Krug. And I think Duttler is in the pit lane as well.
Krug's had a-
Oh,
Beautiful. Had a few issues tonight, I believe, was Krug, but doing a solid job, entertaining us with his driving. That's the thing as well with these cars. Now, I mentioned this before. I was doing a race around Monte Carlo. If you have a race around a track that's interesting in a car that's interesting, you can be in last place and still having a ball. And in these cars, they're definitely enough to keep you awake. That's the easiest way of putting it. They are fun to drive. They're hard to drive, but definitely a lot of fun.
just checking back here with Duttler. Yes, he's in the pit lane indeed, and I think Kosebek has been off
Second
again.
stop as well, yeah. Oh, that might be a big off there for Kosebek once again at the carousel. Oh, I think that might be a little bit of damage on his car. Trying to put the power down, heading through the carousel. Car's looking a little bit sketchy. Look at James Andrew also in the pit lane. Although I believe has he just come into the pit lane, I believe.
Yeah, I think he has, but that's interesting. That's a bit of an undercut compared to Panebianco, but I think it's still one stop. Maybe it's not even possible to do a one stop if they're pitting now. Let's see if Panebianco, because there's just Panebianco, Ortner, and Mellini, I believe, who haven't been in the pits. Hillebrand back out again behind Buron, Caserta.
And on hards again, so potentially aiming for the end of the race. So they're not trying to do a weird middle stint soft compound thing. They're going to try. Yeah, I think they've got it to a point where they can fuel it to the end. and are just trying to get to the end of the race, but try and gain themselves a little bit of track position through the undercut. Georg Ortner also into the pit lane, I believe, from our timing. We look at Mellini as well, into the pit lane as well.
Well, that's interesting that they're all pitting now except Panebianco. It's real because you would assume they pit at the halftime of the race, but maybe they have to pit now. We will know it just in a few moments when Panebianco comes the end.
Yeah, he's coming in. Yeah, he's
coming in as well. So maybe you have to do a 2-stop.
I don't think so. I think that locked those rear brakes into the pit lane. That was so close to the wall. It's not even funny. I think realistically, once one driver has stopped, because of the track position gain that will be on fresh, hard tyres, they're just trying to make something stick. Benedek is going to get back on the lead lap for starters. Potentially will cycle back into the lead, although... Yeah, no, he should cycle back into the lead. Should Benedek. Once it's come around, so it's a massive 2-minute pit stop. You wouldn't want to do that twice, would you? And we believe that this car does have to do it twice, considering he stopped so early in the race.
So just to sort it back out, Benedek, he's been in the pits once, correct? Started on soft, and then he switched to the hard tires.
Mm-hmm.
So that means he had one pit stop. Andrew also had one pit stop. Andrew is ahead of him.
How has Andrew come out of the pit lane so quick? He's a minute up the road from Hillebrand, who he was battling with earlier. So I think Andrew, I don't know what Panebianco's going to do in the pit lane, but he's only 40 seconds down the road. I think Panebianco might, who is in the pit lane now, by the way, I think Andrew might be into the lead here. I am so confused with what's happened, it's unreal.
Well, I have a theory here. Maybe Andrew is going to split this next stint, so he didn't take all the fuel until the end. Didn't refuel completely.
Maybe.
Because for sure Benedek had to refuel a lot.
Yeah, keep the low fuel in the car.
There's also Dina, of course, who is ahead of Benedek, who also has been in the pits. Who's still going, so it's a bit confusing.
So confusing, but here we have Andrew about to take the lead of the race. Panebianco in the pit lane. James Andrew there, up into the lead. Wow, who is on the right strategy? If I were a betting man, this would not be the race I'd be betting on, I can tell you that.
When Panebianco, he has been refueling until now. Just now his car got got lifted for the tire changes. He's going to lose a lot of ground. He's going to come out behind Benedek.
But I think he'll still come out ahead of Hillebrand, and that is the main battle for him. Yeah, here he goes. He's moving again, and just coming to the end of the pit lane now. Should be well clear. But there's Buron in the background, just rinsing it down the start-finish straight. He's going to be ahead of that in 4th position. So still a decent stop. For me, I would still be hesitant to bet against someone with the likes of Panebianco. I'm sure he's done his research. In fact, actually, the first days of this competition, or potentially even the first day of this competition, Francesco Panebianco had already done laps in it and was already top of the leaderboard. So he has put his research into this car and has done his practice, obviously quite enjoying this car. Currently driving for the Ballas Racing team, doing a good job as well. Rafael Martinez, currently in the lead of the Porsche Carrera Cup Classic.
And the one-stop strategy there. Only driver, as far as I can tell. I guess Umkov is on the same strategy.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah. But Martin is definitely on the one-stop. Jäger behind him already has been in the pits, although on a little bit shorter stop compared to Vega and Courtois.
Such a short stop in comparison to Vega as well. I say he jumped a pair of them that was running rather in 3rd in class. But yeah, now has jumped up into what theoretically is the lead of the class, and Carol Vega currently 8 seconds behind, as I believe Unkov into the pit lane at the end of the previous lap. So he's in the pit lane on that one-stop strategy, and we see Rafael Martinez, who will probably be into the pit lane at the end of this lap on the one-stop strategy. As down the inside, I believe that'll be it. No, not quite. Jaeger not trying to make anything stick right now. We look in the background, you can see one of the faster Porsches. Whoa. Just trying to let him through there, I believe, was Jaeger, and trying to get a decent run through the corner, and does so. Absolutely love this corner. Really, really love to get right on the limit of the car when you've got no grip, but fantastic corner is that one. See one of the GTOs as well in the background. We head up to the carousel. That GTO could go around the outside here, particularly on the older tyres. Guy as well. I can see he's down in pretty much last. Just I think he might be out of the race. Is Guy as well?
Oh, maybe something happened to him. I think also something happened also to Vega because he lost a lot of ground to Jaeger.
Maybe he got
he's out of the race as well.
Yeah. Maybe Vega, Carol Vega's just feeling like really lonely without Courtois, and they need to get glued back together again. Be a fantastic battle if they can get together. We see Jaeger, speaking of fantastic battles, down the inside at Canada corner and up into the lead of the category for the Carrera Classic. Solid, decent move. We should see Rafael Martinez into the pit lane. Yet to stop, I believe. We see the Porsche just closing through the traffic. I'm not sure who that is. I think it might be Caserta, actually.
There's Bart, leader in the GTOs, in the pits now. Repakov is not. He's still out there, taking the lead now.
It was a huge lead that Bart had as well. Absolutely massive lead.
Yeah, there we can see Martinez in the pit lane now. And is that Repakov behind him? I think it might be. No, it's not. It's another one. It's Christian Juhasz, actually.
Yeah, we look at Repakov, currently in the lead of that category. I still think Bart will be comfortably in the lead after absolutely pulling away. We saw that amazing battle between Repakov, Kosebek as well got involved in that one. Barriere also involved in that one. Just a crazy battle from this lot. Really allowed Bart to pull away massively into the lead. Repakov, though, huge moment through the kink. Wow, just managed to keep it on the road. Well, I wouldn't say on the road. That four-wheel drive just helping me to keep it at least moderately in a straight line. Runs through Canada corner.
Pushing hard here on his worn tyres.
Yeah.
I don't think he's really battling against Bart, though. I think he's rather battling against Barriere.
Yeah, I think so too. I just don't think... I think Bart's track position has been so king around here at the moment. We'll see Repakov into the pit lane potentially. No? Yes? Just trying to trick us there, I see. Up into the pit lane is the Russian.
Now we can maybe take a look at the leaders of the race. James Andrew still leading, but it's only 5 seconds ahead of Attila Dina.
Who's been closing?
Yeah, they are on completely different strategies. Dina, of course, started the race on softs and then pitted early. Same strategy as Benedict, but for some reason he had a much shorter pit stop compared to Benedict. I can only assume that Dina started on heavy fuel load and Benedict did not.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see how all this unfolds though, aren't we, Rob?
Yeah, Andrew potentially on the more standard strategy here. Pitted with 1 hour and 5 minutes to go. So we will see if he can make it to the end on this set of tires. And then we've got Panebianco, the driver who stayed out the longest time in the prototypes here. Who's in 4th place, ahead of Buron. And then ahead of Caserta, who had this massive off earlier in the race.
Yeah, that was that huge off that we saw earlier at Carousel. Massively into the wall, was in 2nd position at the time, doing a fantastic job. Currently recovered it to 6th place. They've done a good job at repairing that car. An unbelievable job. Oh, who's this off the road? That's Vega, Carol Vega.
That was a heavy off, and this is proper damage on his car there for sure. Completely went off there, and I think you said was that Canada corner or was it this one?
Yeah.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah, it was Canada corner is where he went off. I know Courtois went off at the corner we've just been through there. Well, effectively it was out the second to last corner that went off. Vega, though, continuing on. Maybe if he ignores the damage, it won't happen. Oh, Panebianco. I see Panebianco's gone behind Nicholas Hillebrand. I'm pretty sure he was ahead of him.
Yes, he was indeed. He was in 4th place.
No, 2nd mistake there for Panebianco. Again, we've spoken about how tricky these cars are. Francesco Panebianco now down into 7th position behind the German of Nicholas Hillebrand. So it might be the second time this afternoon he's had to take a massive moment there again into the corner. Oh, he's gone straight on as well.
Maybe something changed with the balance of his car in the pit stop.
Well, the thing, once you come into the pit lane, you get on fresh. When the tyres are wearing, yes, they're slower, but you get into a rhythm with it. You understand that the grip isn't there, and you get a feeling for it. When the grip comes back, and then the grip comes back, but you're put on heavy fuels, so the grip reacts so differently. The turbo reacts so differently. The brakes react so differently. Everything is so very different. And when you've been used to that for an hour, it's so hard to get your mind to effectively reset. It's much easier if, say, for example, in the pit stop, you got out of the car, you walked around the house for a bit, you had a little bit of a breather, and then got back in the car and then got on. It's a lot easier to reset your mind. Like if you just sit in the car, which obviously everyone does because you don't know when you're going to be on your way. It's so hard to get back into the rhythm.
Either way, Panebianco now with a lot of work here for the remainder of the race. We thought he might be on a good strategy, maybe even to fight for the victory. Now it's looking less and less likely. And perhaps this man here, Attila Dina, perhaps he can fight for the victory, because he has done one pit stop early on, started the race on softs, and I'm pretty sure he only has to pit one more time. So same for him as for Benedek behind him. I guess it all depends on if James Andrew has to pit again or not.
55 minutes to go in this race. We're over halfway, and I have absolutely no idea who's going to win any of the categories. I can put a solid guess that it's going to be Bart in the GTOs, because he's doing a fantastic job at the moment. As we look at him currently being passed by one of the Porsches from the Group C cars. I'd say this one is moderately secure. He's got 20 seconds over Barriere at the moment, so he's put in a fantastic drive so far. Not to put a commentator's curse on, but doing a truly brilliant job as Panebianco's got past Hillebrand now. I think I just saw on the time. Yes, we did indeed see that. Unfortunately, we missed that on the broadcast. But Panebianco now past the German Nicholas Hillebrand. I think that's Kosebak past Eunice as well.
I think Richard.
Oh, the time has gone. Oh, there we go. That makes sense. Yeah, Richard was in second last. But yeah, 20 seconds is Bart's lead, so I'm going to assume that that's moderately secure. One hand on the trophy, shall we say.
Yeah, same for Jäger if he doesn't have to pit again.
But that's the thing, is if he doesn't have to pit again. And I'm not sure on that one.
Oh, Buron. He's been off.
Moment. Yeah, Canada corner. It bites again. Not dropped back towards Panebianco. You saw him in the distance trying to get past one of the Porsche. Oh, sorry, it was one of the GTOs. He does get around the outside of it. But Buron, massive moment at Canada corner. So Caserta's back up into fourth somehow. And to be fair with Caserta, not sure about what strategy he's running, but he didn't pit that far away from the halfway point, so he actually might be all right on strategy somehow.
We will see. It's definitely quite a far way back behind Benedek at the moment.
Well, he's ahead of Panebianco, who I think is the one that he's racing directly, massively behind James Andrew. But I don't know. I think the top three have to pit again. Also, it's all closing up at the front. 2.5 seconds between Dina and James Andrew.
That's the other thing. That's so surprising because Dina is on really old tires here.
Yeah. Unless Andrew didn't change his tyres and just took fuel. And that would explain a super quick pit stop. But I mean, really getting to the end on one set of hard tyres?
No, he would have to pit for fuel again. Maybe he's trying to stretch it and then go for softs at the end.
Potentially, but then you're losing. It's such a long pit stop in this car. You can't recover that on softs. Well, maybe you can, but well, we'll have to wait and see, don't we? Again,
it all depends on if you actually have to do 2 stops for fuel, because then you have to come in anyway.
Yeah, because everyone will also have to come in. But I just think Panabianco, well, I've done their research enough to know whether it's if you had to do that, then surely you would have pitted earlier, if that makes sense, and spread the load a little bit more to make it a more efficient pit stop cycle. We look at Buron, massive attack from Panabianco, up onto the start-finish line. 50 minutes to go in this race. As Ricky Richard, I think, is out of the race as well, unfortunately. So another retirement. We see Panabianco all over the back of that massive Porsche rear wing through the first corner. Nothing quite happening just yet. Panabianco maybe lining himself up for a move into the 4th, 5th corner, wherever it is. Huge drive. Look at that beautiful drive. Bit of traffic there as well from one of the Carreras that we fly past. Lucas Buron under massive pressure from the Italian into that 90-degree left-hander will go. Oh, he's tried to commit to the inside, but Buron just about covered it in time. Whoa, that was close to being a humongous crash. Runs under the bridge. We ride on board with Panabianco. Oh, a bit of a moment there. Just quick little catches for the Italian. Absolutely pushing the car to the limit. Bias Racing Team's Francesco Panabianco all over the back of Buron. We head through the carousel. All about hooking that slightly late apex. He's a little bit wider here is Panabianco. Oh! Massive moment there. Nearly ended up in the same wall that his compatriot did. Caserta out into the weeds there earlier on in the race. Panabianco just managing to catch it in time. Huge pressure though for Buron. Again, these cars are so easy to make mistakes. You can see the limit that these guys are pushing to. Much faster is Panabianco through Canada corner. Yeah, up the hill again.
Mid-corner speed from Panabianco is spot on there, but you could see even on his car, goes between oversteer and understeer, as Attila Dina has come into the pits for his second and probably last pit stop.
Yeah, we said that. Well, I reckon that
Benedek is in as well.
Have to pit. Yeah, both of them in, as expected. We'll have to wait and see. Panabianco looking every which way to try and get past. And this is now for the podium. Bit of a slide there on the rear end through the first corner. Not allowing Panabianco to get properly back onto the power. Heads into the second. Is he going to hook the apex this time? Yes, he is. Again, a beautiful drive off the corner. Excellent drive off the corner. A bit more traffic. Once again, that's Courtois they've just passed, which means Vega's not too far up the road, potentially. I know, actually, no, those two have gone completely all over. See, Courtois back in the lead now, so that. We'll get back to that in a moment. Panabianco down the inside, though, into the left-hander, and that should be job done. Both fantastic on the brakes, though, from Panabianco. A little bit wide, both of them, yeah.
Yeah. And you could see the low downforce setup from Buron in effect there. Didn't lose a lot of time on the straight, but then was quite a bit of time under braking.
Hildebrand closing as well, who we know is running a bit more downforce than Buron. Those two have been racing quite a bit over the day. Yeah, in the Porsche category, Jaeger, I must have stopped again because somehow is back in the lead, and I don't quite know how. After the huge mistake that he had.
What happened to Jaeger?
I don't know. I'm so confused right now with what's happening in that category.
That is so weird. Maybe he was in the pits again.
Maybe he's made a second.
But then he's still ahead of Martinez.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he must have been in the pits again.
I think he's made two small pit stops, has Soren Jaeger.
Jaeger definitely has been in the pits and hasn't fixed his damage.
Yeah. Or maybe he's just really struggling with the damage. We see Dina out of the pit lane, Benedict directly behind. Benedict, who took the lead early in the race from second position, now 10th and last in category. We'll see how this race unfolds for him over the next 47 minutes. Attila Dina, though, doing a fairly decent job here, currently in 9th position. If we look back, though, to the battle for 4th position, we can see Nicholas Hillebrand right on the back once again of Buron. Super close. Oh, no! Too much power there for Nicholas Hillebrand. Oh, no. That's a shame. Oscar Harbeck obviously teaching his drivers how to leave a corner sideways. And Nicholas Hildebrand taking that information and learning from it. Unfortunately, not to his advantage. 5th position for him, dropped well off the back now. I think it's 8 seconds he's dropped now from the back of Lucas Buron.
Daniel Duttler has been around as well here, running in 7th position in the same class. Now getting caught by Mellini.
Yeah, please do not underestimate how difficult these cars are to drive. To put the power down, say with the turbo the way it is, and just the ridiculous amount of power and lack of downforce these cars have. A bit of traffic as well, going to help Mellini here try and get past it. But closes up. Not quite making anything stick though. Again, both cars, I think they're struggling a little bit with the tyres because both cars are absolutely wide and missed the apex there for the 3rd corner. Not quite close enough either for a move. Here is Mellini, Duttler just ahead. So good. Oh, here we go though. Who is this? Who is Benedek and Dina?
9th and 10th now, but this could actually be for the win if some, you know, if the pit stops maybe come as we expect.
Contact between the two, I think. Trying to go around the outside, they got a bit of traffic up ahead as well. Oh, which way is he going to go?
Oh no!
Oh no, they've tried pushing it way too far. And Benedek realistically should have lifted out of that because he was put into a corner where there was only going to be one thing happening, and that thing did happen. Benedek and Dina. Dina could have given a little bit of room, don't get me wrong, but I mean that one would need to be looked back on replay. But I think that was more to the fault of Benedek, I'm afraid.
And poor Markus Unkhoff here, not completely collected there. Nothing he could have done about it. Just on the straight.
Such a shame. So not quite sure what happened there, realistically, but Benedek trying to get past Dina. An excellent move around the outside, not quite making it stick realistically because of a yellow Porsche, unfortunately being where he needed to be. Now Unkhoff under attack from Carol Vega. And we can see, I believe that is Benedek there getting past. And actually past this time. Well, it could be Panabianco or Caserta, actually. I'm not 100% sure. I see Andrew's got a huge lead at the moment of 30 seconds. That's Caserta. Oh, no, that's right. It's just the other two pairs. It's all right. I'm good. It's all very confusing. Mellini here, putting pressure on Duttler. We saw this earlier. Traffic came into effect then. Not quite coming into effect now. Mellini maybe looks like he needs a little bit of traffic to get past Duttler, because Duttler looks like he's running a lot lower downforce, which means Mellini can't even use the slipstream to get by. The damage represented on the car at the moment we believe is not representative of how the car is actually driving, and more in the state of just a visual thing. A little bit wide from the apex though. Who was that who made a move? Oh, I think it's just timing. Going a bit weird, never mind. I don't know who's going to win this race, Rob, though. I have absolutely no idea. I still think Andrew has to come into the pit lane.
But he's losing compared to Caserta, so maybe you're right about the tyre strategy.
I think he might have to pit again. Which, weirdly enough, considering what happened, might put Caserta back into the lead. Somehow. Whoa! So close there with Courtois through that corner. Wow. It's pushed Courtois straight off the road. Leader in the Carrera Classic class. He may be fairly new to this whole sim racing lark on RaceRoom, racing experience, but he is brave. That is one thing.
Just having a little bit of stream issues on the YouTube page, as we've just heard.
We are indeed. We'll carry on though. We look back towards Mellini, and that's Duttler up ahead once again. We'll keep focused on this battle whilst Rob will try and resolve all of the issues that we have, because that's the kind of man that he is. Matteo Mellini again, I just don't think that car is quick enough in a straight line, unfortunately, to make anything stick so far. We'll quickly go through the order then whilst we're here. I believe, Hillebrand, I believe, has dropped back behind Ortner, and that might have happened a little bit earlier. They're very, very close, though. It's Mellini. Apologies. It's Mellini and Dittler. Very close. Once again, just not quite working. So, leader of the race. We'll go through them category by category, because why not? The Group C leader, James Andrew, ahead of Caserta. Again, we do not know if James Andrew has to pit again. We believe he hasn't taken tyres on his pit stop and only fuel. 25.6 seconds ahead of Caserta, who's 3 and a bit seconds ahead of Panabianco. Expect a battle there. We'll go to it once it starts. Lucas Buron in 4th position in class. Gael Gortner, Nicholas Hillebrand, Daniel Dittler, Matteo Mellini, and Attila Dinner, and of course Balint Benedek after that incident rounds out your Group C class. Massive moment there for Mellini. Well wide out of the second to last corner, trying to line himself up for the final one. Then the lead of the GT. Oh, who's that? No, never mind. The lead. Anyway, of the GTAs, we'll look at Andreas Bart, currently in the lead of that, 26 seconds. That looks fairly safe at the moment. He's done a fantastic job. No real mistakes at the moment. Barriere, who was the pole sitter in 2nd in class now. Repakov holding on to 3rd. Christoph Müller, Stefan Kosselbeck, Christian Juhas, and Alexander Krok rounds out that category. Of course, a couple of retirements from that. Ricky Richard and Andrea Gay retiring from that one. Jan Courtois currently in the lead by 10 seconds from Soren Jaeger. So he's put in a good drive. We're still not quite sure if Jaeger has made... Well, no, we think Jaeger's made a second pit stop. We think Jan Courtois has made 1. Although speaking of which, Jan Courtois back into the pit lane. So that will promote Soren Jaeger back into the lead of that class. Rafael Martinez currently 3rd. Then Devalda, Unkoff, Nakao, and Carol Vega. Oh, after such a good start to the race, Vega in a constant battle, locked into it with Jan Courtois. Unfortunately, last in class and a long way back after an incident early. Yes, James Andrew, 23 seconds. We'll look at 2nd position at the moment. Well, actually, I think we might have a little bit of a different battle here with Kosselbeck, who's closed right into the back of Christoph Müller again, trying to let some of the Group C class through. Yeah, absolutely dying through. They've got a Porsche up ahead. That'll be Jaeger just ahead of these two as well. This could help Kosselbeck close back up. We've seen issues for Kosselbeck all day. Had to start from the right back of the field after failing to qualify. Did a really, really good job to get back up there. I think he spun again. Currently in that Nissan. All over the back now of Müller. This is for 4th rather, in class. Nothing quite happening yet, Rob.
I'm not sure if we are back live actually on YouTube. Getting mixed signals. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I've got us live on Twitch. Apologies everyone for the issues with the broadcast. Not quite sure what's going on this end. We'll try and get through to the end of the race, even if that is limping. Oh, look at that in the background. Who was that? I think it was that Carol Vega? Who was that off? I believe it was. In through the king. After all that damage has been repaired on that car, has returned his way to the wall, I think with a little bit of assistance there from one of the faster classes. Oh, this day is not going well for Carol Vega. I will also go, and I've just seen this. Panabianco has got past Caserta and is up into 2nd position, and now be hunting down the Englishman of James Andrew as well.
Panabianco's flying at the moment. Andrew's losing a lot of time.
Surely he's not going to the end of the race. 36 minutes left.
Yeah, the question is Panabianco going to the end of the race? Because he was also in before the halfway mark. Same for Caserta, same for Buron. Orton and Hillebrand as well. As have been Melini and Dutla, so only Attila Dina. We are 100% sure that he does not have to pit again.
And I think Benedek, although Benedek might need a bit of damage, we're not. Again, that car looked like it might have been pretty broken after that incident with Unkoff. Whilst racing Dina, we look at Caserta dropping massively off the back of Panabianco. Now gaps growing and growing through the order. So I think now is a good time to ride on board with Panabianco. The guy absolutely on the limit. On the hard tyres. Trying to put it through. A lot of understeer on that car. Through the final corner there, Rob. Absolutely pushing it to the limit though. Closing up on some lap traffic. He's got a goal now. 20 seconds is his goal. I don't think Panabianco will care if Andrew is pitting. Will care if he's pitting. He is focused on one thing and one thing alone, and that is setting the fastest times he possibly can to close into the back of the Englishman of James Andrew. A debutant to RaceRoom Racing Experience competition, I believe. James Andrew doing a fantastic job. So 20 seconds of the lead. We believe, again, just to remind you at home, we believe he isn't yet to, not yet to have stopped, hasn't stopped for tyres, let's say. He stopped for fuel, we believe, but did not. We don't believe he changed the tyres. We see Panabianco coming across Jan Courtois, gets by. Jan Courtois currently third in that class. We'll be trying to close back up. He's currently 30 seconds off.
Very wide here.
Massive moment there. Oddly enough, though, over that, even with that moment, up to this point, he's still closed in on James Andrew. That's how much faster Panabianco is at the moment than James Andrew. Oh, wide there as well again. He is pushing this car to its absolute limit. Look at the commitment through the king. That is bravery. He's allowed Caserta, though, to close right back up. I don't think Caserta's going to be able to get back past on a move, but has allowed him to close back up nonetheless.
Remember Caserta, he's been in the wall. He had this massive impact with the tire barrier. Mechanics managed to fix this car in the pit lane super quickly. We were surprised how well it came out of the pits. Now he might be in contention for a podium.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fine ever since. Somehow, the magic they've put on that reminds me of that Le Mans magic that Audi put on a car that was in the wall very, very quickly. They brought it into the pit lane, spun it around, and then basically repaired it in 4 minutes. And I was like, okay. And this is fairly similar. In a way, we look at Andreas Bart, currently the leader of the GTO category. We can see his car sliding around quite a bit. One of the Porsches trying to get by. Porsche's the only ones in the Group C category. We don't have any of the Nissans, I'm afraid. That car, very difficult to drive around the circuit, as I believe we both tested it around here. It's interesting, shall we say. It's the turbo lag that's far greater, isn't it, on the Nissan? It just makes it very, very tricky to drive.
It's kind of the same on this Nissan here that Andreas Bart is driving. Also has a massive turbo lag.
It's so hard to catch. As far as I remember, I've not driven a proper turbo car in a long time. But the way you drive it is different to a naturally aspirated car. You have to almost effectively get on the power earlier in a way to try and spool the turbo, so when you leave the corner, the car has all of its grunt, which is really tricky to do. It's immensely difficult, and you can drive around the car, drive around the track in the car, and what you feel is absolutely perfectly. However, because you're not driving it right for turbo, it just doesn't quite work. Who is that in the pit lane? I believe that's because who was that?
Oh, Caserta has spun.
Sorry. Yeah, it's Caserta.
And I think he's collected Simeon Naku there.
Oh my. I don't know. I mean, as far as I saw, he jumped Panabianco briefly. I wonder if he just spun right off the road. So far, that would have been ahead of him. Very confusing there. Caserta, though, still managing to hold his third position. There's still a decent gap. 10 seconds back to Lucas Buron. James Andrew, his gap is diminishing quickly. 17 seconds now. We will, as I say, we will go to that battle once it's within about 3 seconds so we can watch that, because I think that gap is coming down at a rapid pace. It's almost coming down 1 second per minute of racing. Oh, who's it? Lucas Buron's into the pit lane, I believe. Yes, he is. Lucas Buron into the pit lane. Now, is this going to trigger anyone? Is anyone else going to come into the pit lane? Is this where things get interesting, Rob? What is going to happen? One of those decisive moments here.
Have a look here at Ladina, because he's one of the fastest of the driver.
Has stopped twice, yeah.
And it has stopped twice. Andreas Barth.
Just to let people know at home, again, we don't know what strategy these guys are going to be running. It's not like when we commentate on races where we've seen these cars drive around 100 times, where, you know, you kind of know that they're going to start on the ultra soft and they're going to go onto the super soft, and then they're going to eventually go onto a second stint on the super soft and they're going to finish the race. We have absolutely no idea, right? This is the first big race for this car. We have no idea what strategy these guys are going to be running. As Dina comes onto the start-finish line, should be well ahead of Buron. Yes, he is. What position is this car going to be come the end of the race? Whew. They should see it coming. It says fat on the front of it. You wouldn't miss that, would you? What did he call me? Oh, okay. Fair enough. We look into the GTO. This is Christoph Müller, right on the back of is that Kosselbeck ahead as well. These two again. They've been closing in and then drifting apart and closing in. A lot of damage on the front of Kosselbeck's car though. Currently 3/10 between the two of them. Heads into the carousel, and that car, is it going to understeer a lot? Oh, it's very, very slippery. I reckon that damage might be legit on Kosselbeck's car. Müller all over the back of the Nissan in the Ford Mustang himself. Fantastic looking cars. That Mustang not quite pokey enough to get by on the straight as we head through the kink. Nissan may pull away a little bit here towards Canada corner. Oh, but he's taken it a little bit too quick there. The number 94 Nissan just slightly too wide ahead of the 50 Mustang. To Canada corner, and once again say that Nissan just, even with that mistake, still pulled away on the straight from the Mustang. This must be so frustrating as a driver behind us, because you're like, where can I make a move on this? Because you've got to do it in the mid part of the corner, which is just ridiculous. I don't know about you, but a Ford Mustang, the idea of that being quick in a corner seems a bit wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's exactly the case, is it? Obviously, Andreas Barth showing us what can be done in the Nissan. Barrier showing what could have been done with the Mustang in qualifying, the immense pace of that vehicle. In the race, though, not quite worked out for the Mustang so far. Trying to get down the inside. Who is that? Is that Duttler? I believe. Yeah, it is Duttler. Trying to get through. It was either Duttler or Hillebrand, and I'm not going to lie, I would have thought Hillebrand would have been a bit more aggressive than that. We look at
Panabianco. He's flying at the moment, a lot faster than James Andrew, down to 14 seconds.
Setting the world on fire at the moment is Panabianco. Trying to really close down that gap. Of course, has made two fairly large mistakes in this race. As Panabianco did one earlier on and then one after the second pit stop. Maybe struggles. There's a midpoint on the tyre, I guess. A few laps in there. He's just not comfortable with. Is Panabianco. But setting really, really good times. To say, we are not sure what is going on with James Andrew and his strategic position on circuit. We're not quite sure if Panabianco is yet to make another pit stop. I think Panabianco is going to the end, personally. But James Andrew, I am unsure of. That one I would definitely put a question mark next to on my notes. 26 minutes to go in this race, and we do not know who is going to win in this category. Your current leaders in each category: James Andrew by 13 seconds over Francesco Panebianco, who is closing in quickly. Andreas Bart by 30 seconds over Valentin Barriere. So that looks fairly secured. And then in the Carrera Classic, you've got Soren Jaeger, who is leading Rafael Martinez by 17 seconds, who is 15 seconds clear of Jan Courtois. So that one, provided he doesn't stop again, looks fairly secure. He has made 2 pit stops. Soren Jaeger is putting in a fantastic job so far. I mean, it was Carol Vega who is up ahead, one of the drivers that was battling for the win against Jan Courtois earlier this afternoon. Not quite turned out to be the solid race we would have expected from Carol Vega, I'm afraid, and Jan Courtois as well. Both of the two have made more mistakes in the second half of the race than over the first half, which I find quite interesting. Rob.
Yeah, yes indeed. And this man here, Martinez, he's also on an interesting strategy because he has only been in the pit once. So a little bit of a different strategy. Maybe Courtois is going to jump in.
Well, that gap currently, remember it, 16.6 seconds between Rafael Martinez and Jan Courtois. We'll come back to that once it gets a bit closer.
Oh, someone's been off.
Who's that? Dutler, was it? Yes, it was. Where has he been? A bit all over the place, I'm afraid. And into 8th position goes Daniel Dutler. Oh, is that Benedict behind? Yes, it is. Super close there, heading into the carousel. I think Benedict trying to get by now, and does so. Is that Benedict? No, it mustn't have been.
No, it can't be Benedict, because he's got the number 8 car.
Yeah, I was going to say, who was that?
That was Caserta? No.
No, Andrew? James Andrew, maybe?
No.
No, because it's way...
Then it's Panebianco.
It must be Panebianco. We'll take a guess. It's one of the red Porsches. There are a few of them here this afternoon. It's very confusing. 11 seconds now is that gap. It's closing in so quickly. 23 minutes to go. Comes up the hill. And yeah, doing a very, very good job. That's promoted. So just to quickly go through, Georg Ortner now in 4th position, doing a great job as well. Nicholas Hillebrand in 5th. So that'll make Oscar Harbuck very happy because he was really gunning on his driver getting into the top 5. Georg Ortner doing brilliant work. He's not looked ridiculously quick all afternoon. However, his fastest lap is pretty decent, a 55.8. Now, yes, Benedict was a 52.4, but we can kind of ignore that being on the soft compound tyre, and Georg Ortner's been on the hards all day. Doing a really good job just chipping away at it. Currently has 5 seconds over the German of Nicholas Hillebrand. I would make a guess that Hillebrand might close up a little bit because he's quite an aggressive driver, as Hillebrand is doing. We'll be pushing the car at its absolute limit at this point. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what will happen here. I think this battle might close up towards the latter part of the race. Trying to keep those hands steady. We look at Mellini, 6th position, quite a long way back from that fight. Of course, a little bit of damage on the car, but I'm sure he'll be happy with 6th position. Tiladina, the next car back down the road, 13 seconds behind. We look back at Kosterbeck, who is off the road once again. What corner is that at? Ooh, I think that's the carousel again. Of course, gravel traps are like glue in this. Is it the carousel? Looks like it. Certainly is. How many people has the carousel bitten today, Rob? My goodness me.
I'm not sure how this happens. Maybe he catches the grass on the outside, on the entry?
Maybe. Or maybe tried hooking it a bit too close to the inside.
Oh, look at the leaders. James Andrew into the pits.
Oh,
we feared this might happen. So Panebianco in the lead.
Tires?
Let's see. I know these pit stops are not the most beautiful thing in the world. I think we have to watch it here to see if his car lifts up for the tire change or not.
We'll have to wait and see. They're going to be putting the fuel in first. Panebianco to the lead of the race. Oh, what is this going to do for James Andrew? I believe, as I say, I still believe that Panabianco and Caserta will be going to the end of the race here. So what's James Andrew going to do? Is he going to switch tyres? If he goes into the softs, 21 minutes is definitely enough for the soft compound tyre. We'll see if it raises up in just a moment. Whilst this is going on, just very quickly, I do apologise. We've got a battle going on in the GTA Classic. Stefan Kosovec. We'll just very quickly click on it. As Juhas all over the back of Kosovec, who's been off the road once again. I believe this move might happen back into turn 3. I think that might be it done. Maybe a little straight line speed might help him back. We'll go back to this pit stop and just see if it's going to raise up. I don't think it's raised up yet. There we go.
Ah, there we go.
Onto some fresh tyres.
Oh, this will cost him so much time, though.
Well, at times we've seen this nearly cost a lap. It takes so long to make a pit stop work in these cars that I don't know if that was the right call.
And I'm still wondering if maybe Attila Dina can win this race from P7 at the moment.
I still think that Panabianco is going to the end, Rob. Well, okay, right. I will say this, okay? Panabianco, Caserta, Ortner, or Hillebrand. One of those is going to the end of this race. Also, I believe now James Andrew is out the pit lane.
Yes, he is, and he's ahead of Dina.
And he is on the softs. Prepare for some absolutely rapid lap times here for James Andrew. His current fastest time, again, make note of it, a 55.808. That will go a lot quicker right now.
And the other thing, of course, is that even if Panabianco has to pit again, he's not going to change tires.
No, just fuel. Although, if he doesn't change tyres, he's going... I think he will be under a lot of pressure from this man come the end of the race. Again, 20 minutes to go. We'll have to see how that one unfolds, but I think we're going to have a very interesting end to this race. Panabianco, 13 seconds clear of Caserta at the moment. The podium, all Italian, as Georg Ortner on the podium as well.
Oh, and Christoph Müller is in the pit lane as well. Starting with their last pit stops here in the GTO category, where they just have one tire compound.
Oh, Caserta aggressive through traffic. That's Unkoff trying to get by. That is not for position, the car directly behind. I believe that's Benedek.
Yeah.
Yes, and not for position. So don't be too concerned about that. We're not missing too much here. Although Caserta, I'm pretty sure will try and keep Benedek behind.
Oh, and Jäger. Jäger's in the pits again.
A third pit stop? Crazy. That's
Martinez is leading now.
On a one stop. Which he may come under a lot of pressure from Jan Courtois at some point in the race. Although Jäger, they're going to be close on the exit of pit lane. Courtois coming. I think he's going to get by into turn 1. There he is. They're going to be side by side potentially. No, Courtois straight back up into second position in class. And sorry, Jäger. Now going to be on some fresh rubber though. Currently third. 13 seconds, by the way, separates Courtois and Martinez. As who's that in the pit lane? No, might have been timing bug. Never mind. Deep breath. One of them.
Caserta and Hillebrand, who were changing positions for sure.
Yeah, they just switched over for some reason.
Oh, it is Caserta in the pits.
Caserta into the pit lane. Super slow on pit lane entry though. Look at that. Almost came to a complete stop there, the Italian.
And we were kind of fearing maybe all these drivers who stopped just before the halfway mark, maybe they all have to come into the pits again to grab some fuel to make it to the end. Caserta pitting now. Okay, he was a bit early because of his incident.
His incident, yeah. Maybe that's moved him onto it.
Oh, something here. Mellini. He's been in the wall.
Oh, no. Yeah, 7th position for him. Dina up to 6th. Same for Mellini there. Just doing a solid drive, but until that moment. Georg Ortner up into 2nd position now. And I believe Hillebrand will also... No, Hillebrand. Is Hillebrand in the pit lane?
Yes, he's in the pit lane as well.
In the pit lane as well. Oh, maybe you are right, because Hillebrand did pit very, very close to the likes of Ortner and Panabianco. What is going to be happening here for this category? I think a 2-hour race, Rob, may have just been just about awkward enough for these drivers. Buron closing right into the back of Benedek as well. This is obviously towards the latter end of this field of the Group C cars. Buron, though, right over the back of Benedek. I don't know if he's been closing, but that's just been a mistake from Benedek. And towards Canada Corner. Nice and close. Oh, he is definitely closing in. Whoa, way too much speed into Canada Corner there for Lucas Buron. Oh, that might have just cost him quite a bit of time there. Hillebrand out of the pit lane. Jan Courtois here. Under attack from Jaeger, who's got by. They're going to be 3 wide on this straight. Porsche. Woo! That was close. Jan Courtois, though. Oh, a bit of rub in between the two. Ooh. Jaeger trying to get by, obviously, just after that pit stop. Jaeger was in the lead. Martinez continues to go around, obviously, on that one-stop strategy. And Courtois defending like his life depends on it for second position. Oh, he might be a little bit wide, though. Jaeger going for that great run through the corner, which should give him a lot better drive out, and it surely does. Which side's he going to go? Courtois tries going to the right-hand side. Jaeger goes to the left. Jaeger is there on the left, and I think this may be the position done. Heading. Whoa, there goes another one. There goes another one. That is terrifying. A little bit of contact again between the two of them. Heads down. That's Benedek as well, by the way, who went by with Buron. And yeah, wow, Courtois so good on the brakes, manages to hold on.
Yeah, meanwhile, Andrew has passed Caserta. Caserta had a very quick pit stop. He's just behind James Andrew now, and Caserta's on the hard tires.
Tilladino as well, just behind. Caserta potentially going to be passed. James Andrew, by the way, including that move, just set a 53.8, which is very quick.
I think that's the fastest lap of the race.
I think Benedek set a faster one earlier.
Oh yeah, he did a 52 on the soft earlier on your right.
But that was clean air, no overtakes, and fresh rubber. So, yeah, a very impressive time there for James Andrew. Currently running in third position. Jan Courtois we look at. Obviously under immense pressure. Wow. What a big slide there for Jaeger through the kink. Just a little bit too much curve on the inside. And it really threw the rear end of the car around. Into Canada Corner. Courtois just holding on to that second position, but Jaeger definitely the faster of them. 12.5 seconds up the road is Rafael Martinez in the lead of this category, putting in a sterling job. 13.5 minutes to go in this race. So even if Jaeger gets by, he has to be closing down basically a second a minute to close into the back of Rafael Martinez. They're going to be very close in the run up towards turn 1. They're going to be side by side. Wolf nearly into the wall. Careful, boys. Give us a bit of room. Jan Courtois trying to defend as aggressively as he can. Maybe a little bit too much in some eyes, but just about making it stick. Jaeger, once again, pulls out. Going to try and make something stick, but Jan Courtois is so good on the brakes. Too much curve, though, on the inside. It's going to push his front end a little bit out wide. Runs towards turn 2. Jan Courtois under all of the pressure from that green Porsche behind. Again, nothing quite sticking, a bit more contact. Oh, he's going to slip it back down the inside. Oh, I think that might be it. Jan Courtois, brilliant cut back there for Jaeger. And Jan Courtois has now been overtaken and demoted to third position in class. Good move there for Jaeger. Well timed on the cutback.
Move indeed. And I don't think Courtois can close this gap under braking. Let's see if Jaeger can catch up to Martinez with his better tires. I think he's running a little bit out of time.
I think everyone's running out of time. Panabianco continuing to go around. We look at Mellini, who is close to the back of Hillebrand. Hillebrand had a... Sorry, no. Yes. Oh, Hillebrand pitted. That's... I remember. So Hillebrand now in 6th position, which is still pretty decent, realistically. We look at Mellini, who I don't think is quite quick enough to close that gap down.
In terms of pitting, the question marks are Mellini, Ortner and Panabianco. So these drivers, it's still possible that they have to come in. All the other drivers in the prototypes definitely can stay out until the end.
You'd hope.
Yeah,
unless someone's made a massive mistake. These three, though, are all for position.
Yeah, and
In
Benedek
fact,
behind.
actually, all four. Yeah, all four of them are for position. So you've got Hillebrand presently in the head, 7/10 ahead of Matteo Mellini, which we're looking at now. Lucas Buron, the next car behind. You see that red car in the background? That is Balint Benedek after his issues through the day. Currently in 9th position. Has been in every position in the category, has led, has been 10th. I think he's even been in the middle part of the GTO category earlier in the race. And so he's been everywhere as the Hungarian driver, and his car is sliding all over the place. The holder of the fastest lap of the race, this man.
Partner in the pits.
Oh, now that puts a massive question mark on Panabianco. But Panabianco's got 74 seconds on James Andrews, so surely if he comes in, it's just going to be for fuel, just to get this 10 minutes done. And surely, the Italian is fast enough to just about hold on. Lucas Buron, though, look how close this lot is. Mellini under heavy pressure. Lucas Buron, we're going to head through the traffic up towards Canada Corner. It's all igniting for the final 10 minutes of this race, as we've got traffic galore here.
A bit of a mistake there from Mellini. And Buron is through.
Yeah, Buron through then, and he's going to close up to the back of Nicholas Hillebrand.
Oh, seems like we have a small issue here with the game. Just trying to sort that out.
I think that has been a server issue, unfortunately. Not quite sure. Well, I'll allow Rob to get on that. So whilst we're talking, I mean, if that is the case, that's a shame for Panabianco. Oh, sorry, it's good for Panabianco, rather, because obviously the gap we had. A shame for Orner, who just pitted before that happened, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, I do believe that is a technical fault on the side of RaceRoom. We'll try and get back in and just see about where we were. What a race it was, though, towards the end of that.
Oh, we're still going.
We are still going. Fantastic. That's a good sign. We'll just get back into it quickly then and see what's going on. Deep breath. Will Panabianco have to pit before the end of the race? That is the big question. Gerhard Waltner did, which I think does bring it into question whether Panabianco does or not. But if he does, surely he can come in, stick 20 seconds of fuel in, and that'll be enough for the final 10 minutes of the race. We'll be closing in on that checkered flag, the 2-hour special event here at Road America. Been a fantastic race so far in all three categories. We've been quite lucky here, as we should be returned to the race. Panabianco, I've got it on my timing here. I believe he's got 40 seconds on James Andrew. Just trying to get that sorted. Here we go. Right, deep breaths. We're all back. Oof. Panabianco currently in the lead of the race. The timing might be a little bit all over the place with the rejoin, so forgive us for that.
And Panabianco's in the pits.
Panabianco now comes into the pit lane. So what time for us to rejoin? We've got 8 minutes left of this race, and it was 40 seconds between the two of them, I believe, and they'll be closing up rapidly now. Will be James Andrew and Panabianco. Again, please ignore the gaps for some of these. It's going to be a little bit weird. We'll try and keep on top of it as much as we can.
Yes, we're just going to turn off the tower now because we have got the wrong timing gaps showing at the moment. And just
we'll
stay
just
on board with this driver
yeah.
here, James Andrew, who's in second place.
Could potentially be the lead by the end of it. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. I believe Panabianco will be taking fuel only and coming out ahead. But the speed of this man, who is on the soft compound tyre, against Panabianco, who even if he doesn't change tyres, will be on hard worn tyres, which is not ideal. And Panabianco just come out of the pit lane now, as Panabianco, I believe. So James Andrew closing right up to him. There he is. Oh my, this is going to be an interesting final bit. 6 minutes, 50 seconds. Realistically, that is 4. And I know that gap looks massive, but trust me, that is not huge. That can come down so quickly. It's say fresh softs. We're closing that one down very, very quickly. We look at Caserta, Attila Dina directly behind.
It's not Attila Dina, actually.
Apologies.
Just hoping that the timing sorts itself out here.
This is not confusing at all. Caserta, though, trying to defend as much as he can. We look back towards Rafael Martinez. Whoa, has he pitted again?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But Soren Jaeger, that is for the lead. So he has closed that gap down massively. It was 12 seconds the last time I picked when Soren Jaeger was trying to get past Jan Courtois. And the two of them being extremely close on the circuit. Now this is, again, this is for the lead. Jaeger, we believe, has made 3 pit stops. Rafael Martinez has made 1. Coming into the last part of the race, you can see, I think that's Lucas Boron, going to be trying to get past these two before turn 1. Does indeed, cuts back and cross. Tries to get that perfect run through the corner. Jaeger, though, going so much quicker. At this point, we ride on board with Jaeger. Allowing, I believe that's Kosebek to get by. Oh, looking down the inside. Nothing quite there. Very, very late.
Oh, Boron has been off.
Boron, yeah. Going to rejoin it. Should blast by again before they get down to the next corner. There he goes. By into hyperspeed. Oh, and another one. It's terrifying the speed they absolutely blast past. Again, completely different category, different world, realistically, in forms of its power and weight. Right on board with Jaeger, all over the back, trying to get by at the moment. I believe Buron's been passed by Hillebrand as well through that mistake. Hillebrand in 6th position. Just so you know as well, I believe it's 10 seconds between James Andrew and Francesco Panabianco. Oh, Soren Jaeger trying to make it stick around the outside,
Oh, what a move!
My! The grip difference there.
Oh, but Martinez is coming back.
Unexpected.
Martinez on the inside, and that's that could work. And Barriere stuck behind these two for the entire carousel. Jaeger off the track. And we have got the timing back, so it sorted itself out rather nicely here.
Thankfully. Wow, I mean, I don't even care if he lost that immediately. What a move from Jaeger. I've never seen anyone go around the outside of that corner. Fantastic work there for the German. Of course, dropped that immediately, unfortunately, to the Spaniard. But Martinez back up just very quickly, whilst nothing yet. We are going to look to it. Thank you. Nicholas Hillebrand under a lot of pressure from Lucas Buron. This is for 6th position. Buron trying to get up there, obviously, after that mistake, or potentially a little bit of contact between the two. Not really anything working there for Hillebrand. And straight around the outside goes Lucas Buron. Brilliant, brilliant move at turn 1 there. We've seen the outside for the first 2 corners, realistically, is the better option. We look at Mellini now.
He's been passed by Dudler, just in that corner. Down to 10th position, but we have to jump back to the fight in the Porsche category here for the victory. Because Martinez is still under all sorts of pressure from Jaeger.
Oh, that cutback's good though from Jaeger, not quite. Remember, it was a cutback that allowed Jaeger to get past Courtois into this corner. Courtois defended a little bit on the inside, didn't quite run, I wouldn't say he ran wide, but Jaeger was like, I'm having this bit of track, thanks, bye. And managed to make that move stick. And I think it's going to require a very similar move to get by. Again, we will keep you apprised of the battle for the lead. James Andrews, 7.2 seconds off the lead of Francesco Panabianco, 2 minutes 30 seconds to go as we look towards the lead of the Carrera Classic. Another car trying to get through. I believe that might be Benedek, not quite sure. He's going to slot between them. Oh, Martinez, bit of a slide there out of the corner. It's not going to quite open it up for Jaeger. But it shows the level of pressure, the level of wear on those tyres that he is having to deal with. Rafael Martinez again wide through there. It's going to allow Jaeger to get the cut back through here on the run down towards the 90-degree left-hander where Jaeger went around the outside. 1 lap ago. Heading into the corner. Not quite anything working. Going to go for the cut back. No, not quite. I believe that is going to be Andrew coming through on the soft tyres. Woo! That was close. Soren Jaeger trying to really make those tyres work and get around the outside here. He's carrying so much more speed there. Look at the speed difference through the carousel. There goes another one. That's Caserta, maybe? I'm not sure.
I think it's Benedek, actually.
That was Benedek. There you go. Yeah, make more sense. That's a long way back for Caserta. One of the Audi GCOs off in the background. Soren Jaeger not quite making the stick. We are heading on to, by the way, the final lap of the race after 2 hours. Porsche category, it looks like it's going to come down to the final lap. Francesco Panebianco's got a 5-second lead, which may just about be enough. On to that final lap. Got to wrestle his way around the spot. Oh!
I think Andrew has been off there.
I thought it was out of fuel. I was like, how's he done that? No. I think he's just been off at the final corner. It's not actually cost him a position, but it shows how hard he was pushing. We look back at Caserta. This is not for position.
Yeah, it's lap traffic. It's, I think, Duttler trying to unlap himself.
Yeah,
trying to stay ahead of Mellini. It's right behind him there.
I believe so as well. That is Andreas Bart doing a very good job, obviously leading away. The time is ticking down. We'll look back at the lead of that Porsche race. Again, this is the final lap for them. We will be able to cut to this as they head through the final corners. Soren Jaeger trying to throw everything at the back of Rafael Martinez. Two completely different strategies coming to a head. The checkered flag is now going to be out. The timer has ticked down to 0. Soren Jaeger trying to go around the outside, trying to find his way back down the inside. No angle is not covered by Rafael Martinez at the moment in this Porsche category. They've got traffic coming through as well, which I think may have just given Martinez the breathing room he required from Soren Jaeger. Oh, I don't think that's curtains quite yet. So we'll head back to that later. Final lap of the race. Francesco Panebianco, it's not been a perfect drive. It's been a good drive. Not perfect, but very, very good. These cars, super, super tricky, but the first time they've been raced officially in RaceRoom in this special event is going to be Francesco Panebianco, who took pole position, has been on the hard tyres, has made 2 pit stops, and has made it work. He is victorious here at Elkhart Lake. We look backwards, James Andrew. I don't know how much more you can say about this dude. Fantastic drive, 2nd position. We look back to the win for the Porsche category, trying to cover it up into Canada corner, trying to go around the outside of Soren Jaeger. Rafael Martinez just about hanging on. There is only 2 more corners, realistically, for Soren Jaeger to take this victory. He's all over the back of the car, but I don't think anything's going to stick. Is he going to have a look into the final corner? Yes, there's going to be a bit of contact between the 2. Oh, I don't think anything's going to quite work. He's going to go for the cutback. Soren Jaeger, a bit more contact. Rafael Martinez way off the road. Oh, there's contact between the 2 of them. They've both spun around. Oh, no. I believe Rafael Martinez is going to cross the line first. Oh, my. Rafael Martinez and Soren Jaeger racing literally to the final corner. A spin there. Courtois gets through up into 2nd position. Yeah, wow. Rafael Martinez takes the win. Jan Courtois 2nd. Soren Jaeger not quite coming across the line particularly quickly.
Is he still going, or did his car die in this crash?
Maybe. I think he's just going to crawl across the line. Not quite sure what's going on here, but Soren Jaeger, not quite sure what happened in the final corner. You'll have to look back at that on the replay.
There's the... I think Jaeger has been hit.
That might have been a crash. I think that might have been a crash.
Oh, no.
I think he's going to get pushed over the line. Either way, also Bart won in the GTO class ahead of Valentin Barriere. Oh, that is hard to look at. I am so sorry for Soren Jaeger. I believe even still, because of the way the laps work, he will still hold. But yes, Valentin Barriere, there we are, 2nd in class. And Repakov, who held on to 3rd. There is your standings for the race. I say a very solid drive from Panebianco. Not mistake-free, but still very, very good. James Andrew, brilliant, brilliant drive. More to see from him, hopefully, in the future of RaceRoom Racing Experience competition. We've seen some serious talent on display here, Rob, and for the future of RaceRoom competition, the signs are good that we're going to see some decent racing in the future year that we've got to come.
That was a crazy race with these cars. Sorry for the technical problems that interrupted us a few times here during the stream. But yeah, I think the racing made up for it. Panebianco victorious ahead of James Andrew, but it got really close. And then Caserta with a miracle 3rd place after his big off early on, where he was in the tire barrier. So yeah, that's the special event done here at Road America. 2 hours with our classic cars.
Yeah, hopefully some more special events to come across the year. We've got plenty more racing to come. Keep your eye on RaceRoom Racing Experiences YouTube. Keep an eye on the Twitch. Keep an eye on the Facebook to get all of your latest news, and of course in the game itself. And from me, it's been an absolutely brilliant event. Some more great racing and some more good stuff for RaceRoom. So potentially some great stuff in the future as well. We'll see you at the next one. Goodbye.
Yes, thanks a lot for watching. See you at the next race. Information about that will of course be posted on our Facebook page, in our forums, on our Discord, wherever you want. You can find it. Make sure to play some RaceRoom in the meantime. And that's it from me. Goodbye.